fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
They got to figure out the halftime show.
What?
The Super Bowl needs to figure out the halftime show.
What do you mean figure out?
Figure out, like, just deliver something that the diehard fans really want, as far as musically.
So you am I taking this as sort of a backhanded slight to Bad Bunny?
Yeah, I mean, there's bands, there's acts, there's just people that I think are more germane to the experience of the game, of that moment, of that particular game. It's the biggest game in the universe that's played.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just feel like it.
And I'm sure Mr. Bunny is wonderful. I mean, it's a reflection on me that I don't know his work as well as I can, but I'm of a different era. I was hoping the halftime show would be Eddie Rabbit.
I mean, that I'm watching.
Charlie Sheen and Bill Maher. This is before the halftime show took place, and they're discussing the need, the Bad Bunny announcement when it was months and months and months ago. Bad Bunny, Super Bowl halftime, and everyone's like, who's Bad Bunny? And then someone's like, he only speaks in Spanish. And it's like, why are we doing this? Well, last night we got to see the show, and I think it's important when something like this happens, and people on the political aisle that discuss everything that they consume through culture, through entertainment, through sports, whatever it might be. If your politics throws an immediate opinion into it, I just have a challenge for you to always check your politics and make sure that your political opinion is coming from some sort of foundational cultural aspiration that you have, as opposed to just, what did the red team say to do? What did the blue team say that they're gonna, who are they supporting? Who are we on? Who do we got? Because last night, how many of you are criticizing the Bad Bunny show and you never watched a minute of it? Just curious. On the contrary, how many of you, probably not you guys here on the Annie Fry Show, in the Annie Fry Show audience, the 97.1 listeners, didn't watch any of the TPUSA halftime show and are criticizing that? Because if I had a blindfold on all day yesterday, jumped into the social media sphere, looking at, Twitter, which is really much more for me saturated in political opinion and political lean, or dip over into the Facebook world, which is much more about my personal life, my personal connections, everyone's having the same conversation. This is one of those instances. This is why this matters, because the halftime show is something that is supposed to speak to a wide, broad audience. The halftime show for the NFL is supposed to be, in the past, a huge draw, a huge source of interest for the people who aren't coming like lemmings to the football game. Let's just be honest. That's what we do. You love football. You love the NFL. You can't wait to see the Patriots lose, or you can't wait to see the Seahawks lose. I, for one, wanted them both to lose, so I had very little interest in the game yesterday. But you go and you want to watch football because you love football. It's in your veins. You have a team that you support. A lot of people listening right now had a team that they supported before the Rams came back and then left. So the halftime show is a presentation to make more people want to make that Sunday night entertainment event destination television. It's the biggest game in the universe. Just ask Charlie Sheen right there. He understands that. Charlie Sheen said before this all started that he wanted to see them target a broader audience because it does bring in a huge amount of eyes and a huge amount of pocketbooks. That's what it's supposed to be for. So the NFL picks Bad Bunny, and I am just here to say that I don't think that a percentage of people who watched both halftime shows that changed their mind at all about how they felt about the halftime shows before they happened versus after they happened. It was kind of comical to me to see the complete and total, what is it, a Rorschach test where you see what you want to see? That was really what last night ended up being. Now, I did watch both of them, and I don't know how the NFL is going to feel about people like me who the second halftime, I was watching the countdown on the TPUSA YouTube channel and watching to see when that was going to start. Had that up on my computer, had the football game on in the room, but we were working on some things in the house last night, so we didn't go anywhere. Several people in our family went to other locations to parties, but my husband and I stayed home. And I'm waiting for this TPUSA halftime show to start by monitoring it on my computer screen. And then the second that it was within a minute, I switched off the game, put on the TPUSA halftime show, and just waited for it to start. And I watched it, and I'm going to be honest, I was really worried that it was going to fall short. That just the simple fact that you were doing something to make people who had predetermined that the Bad Bunny halftime show was anti-American, he's not speaking English, all these people who had predetermined in their head that this show was going to be awful, and we need somewhere for the Patriots to go, right? But not the Patriots on the field. They were in the locker room. The Patriots, like you and me, who love our country, are sick and tired of the traditions that America was founded on, that some people, a lot of people, still really want to live in and uphold. We wanted somewhere to go where we felt like that was being respected. And all of the predetermined talk or the pregame discussion, specifically, I would say from Bad Bunny himself, who said when he came on SNL, he's like, if I know people are worried that this whole thing's going to be in Spanish. You've got 3 months to learn. That was Bad Bunny's message to America. So, okay. Well, guess what? I just didn't have time. I didn't have time to learn all of Spanish in 3 months so that I could understand a halftime show. So what did I do? I went and watched TPUSA's. And it was nerve-wracking to go into that halftime show and feel to myself, if they got to score like an A+ to prove to everybody, the NFL included, that they're capable of doing this, and that the time that they pulled away from the NFL, that the people who left were served in a way that they were missing at that NFL halftime show. And I watched it, and they scored an A+. The TPUSA, Kid Rock led, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, the woman's name escapes me. This halftime show that they presented was exactly what it needed to be. It was exactly what people who came to there wanted to see. And then it was just a little bit more because they knew their audience. They understood who was coming to watch this show. They listened to their audience and they served them up exactly what they wanted. Now, I know a lot of people are like, TPUSA, you got to do this every year. Folks, there are going to be more people who are going to do this every year. The NFL has a big, big problem ahead. Now, how was the Bad Bunny show? What about all the people like me who left the TPUSA show and came back to the game? Well, guess what I did? The game was super boring. It sucked. When I came back in, 12-0, weird football score. My understanding is all field goals. And so I was like, I did decide that I wanted the Seahawks to win because Chris Pratt announced them out of the tunnel, and that was enough for me. And then that's pretty much where I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. I was doing some work. I went back after the TPUSA halftime show was over and rewound the Super Bowl to watch the halftime show again. By the time I got back into the actual football game, there are around 6 minutes left in the third quarter. I just dipped out on half of a quarter to watch the other halftime show. How many eyeballs for the NFL? You got to think about this, folks. The NFL needs to have the big halftime show because it brings more eyes into the event, the spectacle, and then they charge $1 bazillion to run a 30-second ad because they want to make sure that they can make this as lucrative as they have in the past. If eyes start getting divided, even if TPUSA ends up getting 5 million views on one YouTube channel, let alone all the other ones that get added in. It's in the tens of millions. Can the NFL afford next year for there to be an NFL halftime show, a Republican halftime show, a Democrat halftime show, other than the one that they're airing? Just kidding. Can they afford that? And the answer is no. The NFL is going to have to react to this before it spirals out of control. I don't think it's out of control yet. But I do think that if the NFL doesn't react to what happened last night with the halftime show, things are going to get dicey for their ability to bring in the ad dollars that they need. Now let's get back to the Bad Bunny show, because I watched the whole thing. I thought that the part with Lady Gaga where they were showing the wedding and everything, I actually thought that was kind of heartwarming. I thought Lady Gaga, as a performer, she's incredibly talented. I think she's an interesting person. I'll go there. She's incredibly talented. They were showing a wedding scene from a Latin country. Here's what I'm saying, folks. If you're mad because Bad Bunny sang in Spanish at an NFL halftime show at the Super Bowl, guys, that's what Bad Bunny does. Bad Bunny sings in Spanish. The NFL hired him knowing that he sings in Spanish. He's a global sensation. He sings in Spanish. That's who he is. This is an NFL problem. Bad Bunny, I'm not looking at Bad Bunny going, what are you doing to the culture? Because Bad Bunny was a choice. Bad Bunny was a choice by the NFL and by Jay-Z, as I understand it, whose job it is to manage the halftime show. You know where America is right now? America is sick and tired of being told to sit down because you're going to preach something for a minute. There's kind of a bait and switch here, and I don't want you to miss this mark. I don't want you to miss this point, because it's really easy to walk away from a Bad Bunny halftime show and focus in a misdirected way your anger and your frustration on Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny was hired to do what he does. Do you understand where you have to be smart about this? Because the NFL, or Jay-Z, the NFL hiring Jay-Z, however that relationship works, to pick and choose and produce a halftime show, the NFL has separated themselves from whatever consequences or benefits of those actions that might be when Jay-Z comes in and picks somebody that does not reflect the whole of America. Folks, Bad Bunny does represent a part of American entertainment and culture and whatever. Having Bad Bunny be a part of a halftime show is, if that wedding scene would have been one part of a show where the rest of it was something that, going back to what Charlie Sheen and Bill Maher are saying here, say no more. Bill Maher's like, I'm sorry, I don't know much more about Mr. Bunny. Bill Maher and Charlie Sheen should be prime targets for Super Bowl entertainment. They should be included. I don't need it to be all about people their age or people with their interests. A real, true, respectable Super Bowl halftime show would reflect the culture as a whole, and it wouldn't pick and choose and tell some of you to sit down and shut up and like it. If you're mad at Bad Bunny today, then they have duped you. If you look at the halftime show yesterday, my favorite thing on the internet right now is Bill O'Reilly tweeting, could somebody please explain this show to me, or whatever he said. It was the oldest, widest guy thing that you could have on the internet. And then he was like, email me at bill@o'reilly.com or something like that. And I'm like, who's emailing Bill O'Reilly to explain Bad Bunny right now? I kind of wanted to, but I don't like email.
I think he was looking for somebody maybe other than you also to explain Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I can't. The whole point being, we were told that that was a political choice made by somebody who's very far, far, far away from the stage, which is coward. That's cowardly. And if you want to make an impression on what happens the next time. And it's not about the Super Bowl show, like halftime show. I will not think about the Super Bowl halftime show after this week until someone's like, oh, who's going to play at the next Super Bowl? I don't care. What I do care about is our culture. I do care about the society and the culture and the America-loving future that I want my children to grow up in. You understand this? If you want to understand American pride, did you feel something when that eagle launched off the back of that Clydesdale when Budweiser was like, what more do you want, America? This is everything we've got. Freebird? Are you kidding me? Wonderful. There's a way to satisfy a large crowd where everybody gets something. That's not what the NFL did yesterday. And yes, they hired Bad Bunny, but remember, there are people making these decisions absolutely understanding what they're doing. That's where you become frustrated. Bad Bunny is Bad Bunny. He did what Bad Bunny does. A lot of people like it. Bad Bunny doesn't need the socially conservative right or whomever we are going, well, I don't know. I would give that a D-. He doesn't care. He's got his people. Ask the NFL what the hell they're doing. That's what I would do. We'll talk more about it later here. Ryan Schmelz is going to be with us when we come back. I heard Senator Eric Schmidt on with Harris Faulkner this morning saying we are careening towards the next government shutdown.
Oh, good. I mean, no.
No, boo. Bad. We'll talk to Ryan Schmelz about the latest on that when we return. Steve Moore with an economic update at 105. The YouTube poll. Which halftime show did you watch? Bad Bunny, Kid Rock, both or neither? We'll be right back.
Annie Fry and Mark Reardon and learn how to create a worry-free retirement with the Retirement Advisory Group. It's coming up on Tuesday, February 17th at the DoubleTree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30 p.m. Here are Bob and Tammy Kershaw with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement and join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the DoubleTree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, February 17th at 6:30 p.m. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Home power used to be simple. Now the car plugs in, the scooter plugs in, the space heater plugs in, and your electric panel starts popping.
That sounds bad, but I like popcorn.
Popcorn is great, sparks are not. Call Grasser. We'll upgrade your panel so you can run it all.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
42% of Missouri fourth graders can barely read. 42%. It's the worst result in 20 years. If kids can't read by third grade, they fall behind in school and many never catch up. But other states have provided a roadmap for success. Missouri needs one universal reading test for all third graders and one clear statewide standard for what it means to pass that test. A struggling reader who still can't read after extra help and a second chance at the test should repeat third grade with some exemptions. We also need to end the outdated 3Qing method, which encourages guessing instead of reading, and require teachers to be trained in the science of reading. In Mississippi and Indiana, test scores jumped up dramatically after these reforms, and Missouri can do the same. Missouri children deserve to become confident, capable readers, and strong early literacy reforms can make it happen. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by the Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
When it comes to lighting, Graybar goes beyond parts and products. We help contractors turn plans into smart designs, manage kitting and deliverables, and navigate local codes so you can stay on time and on budget. Smart, scalable, job site ready. That's not just lighting. That's like kicking your project into Graybar mode. Yep, Graybar does that.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs.
They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It looks like maybe it's going to be a standalone bill to get out of the House with Republican support. Where is this bill? What levers in Congress do you all have to try to actually get it passed?
Well, we'll pass it out of the House because we're a majority-driven institution, and every Republican that I'm aware of is for it because this is eminently reasonable. It's commonsensical. When you look at the polling, the American people are also right behind President Trump, and so much as 83 to 84% of any legitimate poll says that Americans approve of voter ID. They accept it. They think it's a good idea. And when the Democrats oppose it, and Chuck Schumer says crazy things like this is Jim Crow 2.0, it's exposing his soft bigotry of low expectations. And also, if he would resort to that kind of hyperbole, it's really shame on him.
So there you have Representative Fallon out of Texas. He's on the House Oversight Committee talking about the SAVE Act. So where does the SAVE Act sit right now in Congress? And also, we can get to the latest on a potential shutdown once again. Let's talk to our friend Ryan Schmelz, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill and White House correspondent on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox. Ryan, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Great to be on, Annie. How are you?
Doing well. So let's talk about the SAVE Act right now. Of course, I see a lot of people in the Senate really pushing, like, let's get, talking about the filibuster and everything down the line. Is the SAVE Act, has it passed out of the House? Is it entirely up to the Senate right now? What happens next?
So they're going to re-vote on it, and it passed out of the House last Congress, but they're going to try again. But they're changing it to the Save America Act, which will have voter ID included in this. Last time it was mainly focused on proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. Now they're going to go down the road of voter ID. And the reason for doing that, well, there's a lot of reasons. The number one, Republicans believe that voter ID should be required to vote in federal elections. But it does set up for an interesting political move here where they're going to force Democrats to vote yes or no on this and get them on the record. And Republicans believe this is a smart thing to do because polling suggests that a majority of Americans, including in some polls, a majority of Democrats, support requiring voter ID to vote in federal elections. So Republicans think this is a good opportunity to put some pressure on Democrats ahead of the midterms because it's widely considered that when you are in the majority, you should be putting the minority in positions where they're taking tough votes, and this would be considered one of them.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Ryan Schmelz speaking with us right now. I heard Senator Eric Schmidt on with Harris Faulkner on Fox News earlier today, and he highlighted, and I kind of had this, I was thinking, like, obviously this has to be true, but he highlighted almost as an afterthought that in order to provide an ID, people are going to have to go out to get one or find a way to retrieve one. But also many people might think, well, that it's going to cost money to do that. So now we're basically saying it's going to cost money to vote. Is there a charge? What is required to get what kind of ID involved in the Save America Act?
Well, in many states that have voter ID already, it is required that the state pays for it and that the voter IDs are normally free. Now, I'm not sure how it's situated or how it would work in this specific piece of legislation, but in a lot of states that have already implemented voter ID, one of the compromises they made with it was to require the state to pay for anybody who couldn't afford a government-issued ID. So like getting a driver's license, all that still costs money, but if you're somebody who doesn't drive, then the state would usually have to pay for you to get a government-issued voter ID at your local county clerk's office. And when I worked in local news, there were some county jurisdictions that offered that or paid for homeless people to have voter ID, or not voter ID, just government issued IDs, because it's widely considered that if somebody has an ID or some form of identification, there's a lot more bigger benefits than just voting. It's, being able to get benefits, being able to get into a shelter, being able to get an apartment. There's a lot of benefits to having an ID that isn't just the voting aspect of this.
And so it seems as though, if people would look at the Save America Act, that they're thinking there are obstacles and hindrances between a person and their ability to cast their vote. It does seem as though they're focusing on taking away, you mentioned it as a compromise, taking away those obstacles of finances or whatever it might be. And it's implemented, you said in some other states already, that it's covered by the state.
I believe Missouri has that's the deal in Missouri. Yeah.
So the SAVE Act, it would need to be, they're going to pass it out of the House. Then it would have to go to the Senate. What happens then? How do they get it passed through the Senate?
Well, the Senate would need to have 60 votes, and that's a challenge. And that's why you see some Republicans pushing for Leader Thune to abolish the filibuster in order to pass the Save America Act, which is, highly unlikely Leader Thune is going to be willing to do that. Now, what's interesting is that I actually asked Leader Thune if he would bring the Save Act up for a vote a couple weeks ago. And his answer was interesting, where he said that it could be included in the Department of Homeland Security bill, which would be very interesting as possibly a compromise for Republicans and Democrats here, where Republicans are going to try to get something in return if they're going to agree to Democrats' demands to rein in ICE. So that's the big question. Would Democrats be willing to fall on a separate sword in order to vote yes? Who knows?
That's an interesting potential compromise for sure for us to watch. What's the timeline on the final funding appropriations bill? What's the deadline? This Friday. So if they don't have if they don't get it passed by Friday night at midnight, I assume government is shut down once again.
Just the Department of Homeland Security.
To a smaller extent. So what does that all include? Is it just ICE?
No, it's not. And here's where it gets complicated. Some might say, oh, well, it's just the Department of Homeland Security. Well, why should we worry about this shutdown? Because everything else is funded. Military is funded. Troops are going to get paid. Veterans' benefits are going to be taken care of. But the interesting thing is that whenever there is a government shutdown, the things that we normally notice as a whole usually stems from the DHS, because you think TSA agents, they're paid under the Department of Homeland Security budget. FEMA is paid for under the Department of Homeland Security budget. Not exactly a good time for FEMA to be shutting down, considering all the winter weather and some of the other problems we've been having across the country. And you also factor in some other agencies like the Coast Guard is funded under the Department of Homeland Security. So it's not just immigration enforcement, it's border security, it's disaster response, it's coastal protections. There's definitely a lot of agencies in here that could be impacted that we would notice on a wide margin. It could be economically poor for the United States, which is what happens when TSA agents stop showing up to work, when they stop getting paid. It becomes a ripple effect that impacts our travel, but also impacts our supply chains too.
Yeah, certainly. Do you think the Democrats right now have the stones right now to push another government shutdown that affects all of those different agencies?
I'm not quite sure. We'll have to wait and see. It seems unrealistic that we get a deal done before the end of the week. And a lot of people have been saying that it's just very unrealistic for some type of compromise on something that's this big to happen. There has been talks from those like Alyssa Slotkin, the Democrat from Michigan, who said that she would be open to a bill that funds everything else except for ICE. And then that'll allow everyone to keep negotiating ICE, because, ICE isn't going to be impacted by the government shutdown. That's the ironic thing about this whole thing, because ICE is funded through 2029 through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. So ICE is not going to be impacted if we hit this funding deadline, because it's got money that'll last for several years.
So just to get straight exactly what you just said, Ryan Schmelz, if the Democrats shut the government down on Friday, ICE will continue to carry out the orders that they have been carrying out. That will not change, but FEMA will get shut down, and these other agencies that you talked about will get shut down until they can come to an agreement?
That's essentially it. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we haven't seen this happen before, where you have one agency that's not funded, but everything else is. And we've seen the Trump administration in the past, like when we had that really long shutdown, then move money around so that, troops would still get paid and they wouldn't miss a paycheck at this time, and do some other things like that. I'm sure that they could probably move things around more extensively this time around, because they have every agency funded except for one. But I'm not quite sure if that's what the plan is right now in terms of what the contingency is for DHS if it's not getting any money.
Ryan Schmelz speaking with us right now, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. Last question before we let you go. Can you get us up to date on the Clintons, Bill and Hillary Clinton, who are supposed to come in for those hearings? I know there's chatter back and forth about them being private hearings, about being public hearings.
Yeah.
Remind us what they are coming to testify, the committee and the purpose, and where it stands right now is how that will manifest.
Yeah, the Clintons are supposed to testify as part of the House Oversight Committee's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Bill and Hillary Clinton are scheduled for a deposition at the end of the month. And Hillary Clinton, most notably, has been really pushing back on Chairman James Comer, pushing for a public hearing to be had instead of a sit-down deposition. Pretty much how it's worked for all of them is that they do it behind closed doors. They usually have a specific staffer or one person who's picked to kind of ask most of the questions. They'll film it. They'll release the public transcript and release the video most of the time too. But Hillary Clinton has kind of been pushing back on this, saying that she wants this thing to be public because I think there's a big worry about this thing being publicized or politicized. And ironically, Chairman Comer thinks the opposite, where he thinks that to avoid it from being politicized, you do it behind closed doors because, as you know, hearings can get a little bit testy on Capitol Hill and can get a little fiery. So he believes that the best way to keep it about the mission, which is learning about Jeffrey Epstein, is to keep behind closed doors and keep it in a less publicized setting.
All right. Well, we will be watching for that at the end of the month. Ryan Schmelz, it's always a pleasure to have you here with us on the Annie Fry Show. We look forward to talking to you again. Take care.
Sounds good, Annie. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Ryan Schmelz, Fox News, Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox. Quick break here. Go vote in the poll. Which halftime show did you watch? NFL's Bad Bunny, TPUSA's Kid Rock, and Friends? Both of them or neither? You can vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We've got a live broadcast up there. It's always in the live chat of the live broadcast on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. That's how you vote. But we'd love your texts. We'll read some of those on the air. If you want to tell us what you thought about it, 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797. Text us your thoughts on the NFL Halftime Show. We'll be right back.
Inviting you to join me September 30th as we discover the charm of Switzerland, Austria, and Germany with Colette Travel. Spend 4 nights in Bern and then 4 nights at the foot of the Alps in Innsbruck. From the cobblestone streets to the postcard-worthy mountain landscapes of the amazing Alps, we're going to explore the Swiss capital of Bern and lovely Lucerne, the Swiss paradise on the lake. We'll travel the Austrian countryside to Salzburg with a visit to Mozart's birthplace, and then Mirabel Gardens featured in The Sound of Music. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details. The flights, the meals, the hotels, the local experiences. All you have to do is have the time of your life. Don't miss this trip. Meet me and the folks from Colette to learn more at the Lodge at De Pere, Tuesday, February 24th at 2 p.m. Call Colette at 800-581-8942 or go to 971talk.com/events for details.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
When you've been injured in an accident, hurt on the job, or in a medical mishap, there are many reasons to call Morgan & Morgan. But here's reason number 5. We try more cases than anyone in America by a wide margin. We are on approximately 150 dockets a week and win a lot. Go to forthepeople.com to see our verdicts and results. I believe our results give you the best chance of a fair, fast, and just settlement. Insurance companies know who we are by reputation. Imagine me doing this ad if it wasn't true. They would be laughing. Trust me, nobody is laughing. Their employees and adjusters often hire us when they're hurt. They know, and now you know. All law firms are not alike, not even close. With over $30 billion collected for our clients, We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Wait, Corey from Air Comfort Service? What are you doing in my basement?
Standing behind our work.
It's 9 p.m.
At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation, we take pride in our work. If you need heating service, no matter the time of day or night, we're here to help with 24/7 emergency service.
So you're just going to stand behind my furnace?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you hand me those paper towels then?
Absolutely. For heating service or HVAC maintenance, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
From O'Fallon, Missouri to O'Fallon, Illinois. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Okay, guys, which ones did you watch? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Yes, indeed. I watched the entire Super Bowl this year, which
You watched the
sometimes
football game?
doesn't happen. Yeah, it was a really interesting football game in that.
It wasn't?
Yeah, in that the teams were both really good. I mean, it was like the whole first half, you're going, somebody's got to break out, and nobody would. So they just kept kicking field goals.
Marla Kay on Facebook Live just said, "Hi, Annie. We watched TPUSA. You can comment on the live stream. You can also text us. Ryan, you got your texter message thing open. 314-241-9797. We'll get to those messages here throughout the course of the show. I really want your feedback on this. And, you know, my feedback is the people who, to me, it's actually kind of funny to see people out there defending Bad Bunny's performance as if it, like, saved America. I'm
Okay.
like, listen, I don't think it ruined America. I just don't. I thought it was entertaining in and of itself. I like Latin music. I understood. No, I did understand him say Cuatro de Julio one time. And I was like, I want to Google the song, but I don't have any other context. I can't Google July 4th Bad Bunny. Maybe I could. The videos from inside the Super Bowl, if you were in there while that performance is going on, is a snoozer.
Oh, it's got to be.
Everybody's just sitting around like,
Yeah.
well, there's that. But that might be all the time. That might be all the time.
It's got to be tough when you're in the middle of the game, even into the third quarter. They're going, well, let's look up and see if there's ever been a shutout before in the Super Bowl.
Really?
And you're going, oh, I don't know, and there hadn't been.
Betsy on YouTube says, well, it didn't help America either. I just don't know that that's what the Super Bowl halftime show is tasked with.
Nope.
The preservation of the country or the destruction of it. Ask Jay-Z. I don't know.
The Super Bowl and football in general, sports in general, are supposed to be a uniter.
Yes.
And if they're not doing that, they're
Yes.
not doing their job.
Sports are supposed to be. You're supposed to love each other because you get to hate each other in a safe space.
Right, right. Or, you and I agree on many things, but we could disagree on sports and have a very fun rivalry.
And watch the
That's
game together.
Point. That's the point.
Yeah, if you're a Cubs fan, which Ryan is a Cubs fan, he won't ever shut up about it.
Stop.
And
that kind of stuff sticks with you. People are going to come up to me and be like, I didn't know you were a Cubs fan, because they just turned it off right after you said you were joking.
He's a
which you didn't.
Huge Cubs fan. Just won't stop talking about it. Yeah, it's a tramp stamp. That and the unicorn coming out of the rainbow.
Unicorn coming out of a rainbow over a beautiful lake on my back.
Sports should unite people. It should unite people even more so in your differences. When your team's playing a rival team, especially I'm talking like pro sports, when your team is playing a rival team and you know somebody who supports that rival team, you reach out to them to talk smack with them because that's how you love each other. That's what you do if you're a sports fan. And that's why when you pressure upon, to me, it's a surrender for people to say, to be all in on like Bad Bunny as like the destruction of America, blah, blah, blah. I think that the answer is, there are two answers to this. One is to ignore it. And the second is to just go do something else, which is what TPUSA did this year, what Turning Point did. And they did it so well. That's why I think that this is kind of a moment where I'm just like, oh, and I lean in and I'm like, what's going to happen next? Brad, which ones did you watch?
I was only able to watch. We did a youth group party for the Super Bowl, and so we put the TPUSA one up. And that's the only one I was able to watch because I was too busy to go back and try to rewatch.
Yeah, you can't flip back and forth with
right.
a group
Heck,
of people.
yeah, I went back and watched it instead of the game.
Well,
but I couldn't do that because of the circumstance. I totally would.
It would have been a little blasphemous to turn back at the youth group event at church and be like, let's watch these people twerk for 20 minutes.
Let's see if this dude's wearing a dress. It's just all that stuff.
Which he didn't.
He didn't end up doing it.
Like everybody got worked up about him.
Play.
But that's the point I'm making. Like, don't give yourself over to this. It's really inconsequential if you decide that it's inconsequential.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, I said to my friend, I said to my friend the other day, I don't think I told this analogy. Stop me in the middle of it if I did. Or maybe there's somebody listening today who wasn't listening the other day.
Impossible.
Impossible. You all listen 3 hours a day every day.
We know you do.
My lefty friend. Love him. Love
Old
him.
lefty.
Old lefty.
That's what we call him.
He'd be offended by the old parts. I'm talking about Ryan. He's a lefty Cubs fan.
I am not.
So he said to me, God, I don't even remember what the easy bait. Oh, he says, what do you walked up to me at a sporting event where children were playing. What do you think the possibility of Donald Trump being president in 2029 are? And I go, oh man, that'd be awesome. And then he knows that I'm pulling his chain. I said, old friend, I almost said his name. I said, listen, you know how because he goes fishing. He likes to fish. He's got family, likes to fish. I said, you know when you go out to a really nice fishing hole, maybe a 5-acre lake where you can't see every end of it when you're fishing, and you got a little John boat, a little trolling motor, and you're going out and you're working hard because you want to do a little catfishing. That requires a specific mentality to catch a catfish. Maybe a certain kind of line, a certain kind of bait. You got to kind of work for that. Catfish are usually on the bottom. You got to go where they are, and you got to get down there. You got to use your brain to defeat that fish and catch that fish. Largemouth bass, you want to catch a good largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, whatever it might be, requires a little bit of work. You got to know where they are. You got to get in that boat and get in the middle of the lake so you can fish the banks where the trees have fallen, and you get that line right under there, and you know how to make the tackle move and everything so you can catch that. I said, you know how when you go fishing with kids and you put them on the dock and you don't even get your line and hook into the water and a bluegill jumps out of the water onto your hook? I said, don't be a bluegill. It's like, do not. You're being a bluegill. That's such simple bait for Donald Trump when he sits down and he talks and he jokes about being a third-term president, which he would honestly tell you, also bluegill material. He would also tell you that he is a third-term president because he won in 2020, that he's won 3 terms already. All he's trying to do is get a quick hit fish off the dock with a hook and a cricket or a little earthworm, stick it over the water, and that bluegill will jump out and jump on your hook. That's you. Don't be a bluegill. Be a catfish.
Yeah, be a catfish. Seems like there's some negative connotations with that, too.
There's a shirt in there somewhere.
Yeah.
What's the negative connotation?
I
said don't catfish. It's not an action.
Yeah,
it's a noun.
It's with dating. Yeah, it has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with dating, catfishing, getting somebody on the hook and then letting
Ryan,
go.
this is why I speak plainly to you and not in analogies.
Thank you.
Because otherwise I turn into the bluegill. And I get stressed and I have to go to break.
I think I might have just got you.
No, I doubt it. Don't be a bluegill, folks. You are better than that. If Blue Bunny. Blue Bunny is for me. I love that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Crap, I showed up for the Blue Bunny halftime. If Bad Bunny is not for you, you are entitled to that opinion. I don't think that Bad Bunny ruined America yesterday. I think Jay-Z is trying his damnedest to reshape how this country goes. And I think that if you want to pay attention to what happens next year, see how they adapt. Because, again, TPUSA has already come out and said it's already happening next year. We're already going to do this next year. If they do it next year, somebody else is going to do it. It's going to spawn, and the NFL is quickly going to go, okay, now you're a little too close to our eyeballs, which equal ad dollars. And they'll change, which is how it's supposed to be. Ignore and replace. And then the third one is always to engage, but that shouldn't be the first one. And people have been engaging on hating on Bad Bunny for months now. Fine, I don't care if you hate him, but like, what a waste of energy. Did we change the world? Not yet. There's still time. At least till 3.
Unpopular opinion, yesterday was the end of America, and it was because of the halftime show.
Also that. There are people listening right now who are like, at least somebody said it right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. Don't go away. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. I encourage you to contact Matt Hayes at 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. And talk to Matt Hayes about getting the basement fixed up before the spring sets in and the wet season is here. Oh, gosh, it's nice outside right now, isn't it? Yes, it feels like 56 degrees. That snow's a-melting. When the rain comes and you get worried about what's going to happen to your basement, you need to handle that. That's only going to get worse. The problem is only going to get worse. And ensuring that you have a solution put in place that is going to last a lifetime, that's why people choose Home Shield Foundation Repair. Local guy, local business, Matt Hayes own it. If you call 314-271-9900, you're going to have an honest person, an honest broker with incredibly great experience of being able to get the job done right the first time. With Home Shield Foundation Repair, you need that peace of mind and confidence and that lifetime warranty that goes along with that wet basement fix. 314-271-9900, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Mark Cox here. I get to attend President Trump's State of the Union address, and I'm taking you with me. We'll have real-time reaction and the Mark Cox Morning Show live from the Fox News D.C. Bureau, February 24th and 25th, sponsored by Correll Roofing and Golden Oak Lending.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, which halftime show did you watch? If you want to text in, 314-241-9797. Like Don did. Don says, hi, my name is Don. Hi, Don. I watched the halftime show, but I had it muted while I listened to and watched the TPUSA halftime show. It's not like I could understand any of the words in the songs on the halftime show on TV anyway.
That's a really good point.
That was a great take. Thanks, Don. It is 12:53. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. The Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Go vote in that YouTube live chat poll. We want to know which halftime show did you watch? And, did you get to watch the TPUSA one?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I wasn't even the person in the room that suggested we watch it.
Were you just like leaning with your forehead up forward towards them and your eyebrows up? Like
I said, okay, let's watch TPUSA halftime show. And we did. And I have a hot take on it. I don't know that anybody else is saying the same thing, but I'm going to say it. I thought it was good, and I thought it was a good step one. I think next year it needs to be live.
Well, was it complete? Was it not live?
It appeared to me to be highly edited, so I didn't check to make sure, but I can't imagine they were switching artists that fast on that stage.
Do you know that?
No, I don't know for sure.
I think you need to check your facts.
From my point of view, it looked like, man, to move artists that quick.
If you're going to say on the public airwaves that it wasn't live, I need you to know for a fact it wasn't live.
I don't know that there was just one stage. I think, my understanding of it in watching it was that there was two stages at the end of a runway in the middle, and they were bouncing camera shots from back and forth. So while one performance was going on, they were switching the other stage, swapping, and then
swatching.
Then that one ended.
They were all pre-recorded.
It says that?
Yeah. It was a live broadcast of a pre-recorded show.
According to what source?
AI. Google. Google AI.
Okay. I don't know the answer to that, and I am curious to know. It doesn't really matter to me which it is, but for what it was, I don't think that it needs to be live if it's in a studio somewhere. It made no difference to me what it was from a production standpoint. That didn't make a difference to me because it wasn't part of. You're not doing it in front of. I think one of the really cool things about the Super Bowl halftime show is that there's a football game happening on the field that the show happens on. For instance, this is funny to me. The Bad Bunny show, they created a Puerto Rican atmosphere or whatever there, but they had all of these tall bushes that line the thing. Those were people in Bush costumes. And by Bush, I don't mean George, which would be really funny.
Or Jeb.
Those are harder to get. Please clap. What are you looking up? Anything good?
I'm trying to find out if it's live.
I don't. If it's going to be live, it needs to be a production in front of an audience where people can buy tickets and go to. There has to be that type of element. I actually disagree that I would rather it have a higher production value. If it was pre-recorded, it doesn't bother me one way, shape, or form. But I would rather it have a higher production quality for the audience that it's consuming than maybe you got 5,000 people on a stage in front of everybody. I would rather serve the 5 million people who are on the TPUSA YouTube channel alone with the top production value for the people who are out there watching it. I think watching live events on TV, you can't, it's such a different production if you try to mix them up both ways. Go vote in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Which halftime show did you watch? Did you watch both of them? Neither of them? Let us know. We'll be right back.
Associates. We call them the doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice in St. Louis. So if you're looking for the best doctors for your best vision, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. I had an eye disease when I was younger. It left me with a silicone buckle around my right eye, so I put my trust in Ophthalmology Associates to take care of my annual checkups. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye, allergy eyes. They can help. They can help with cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
The Retirement Advisory Group myself and Mark Cox and Mark Reardon, we're all going to be at the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It is coming up Tuesday, February 17th at 6:30 p.m. Thomas Helbig, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, we put together this event. I show up at 6 from 6:30 or from 6 to 6:30. We'll welcome you and the Retirement Advisory Group folks to the room so that everybody can sit down and have this, what ends up being maybe a 45-minute seminar where you get to ask questions. They get to tell you what they do to help you get to a free personalized retirement income plan. Also, when you're 59 and a half or older, help you understand how you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free, which helps you create that worry-free retirement. You don't want to miss this event. So if you are wanting to grab a friend, grab your spouse, grab your sibling, whatever it might be, and get the planning done. It doesn't cost you anything. I would love the opportunity to meet you. I get there at 6. It starts at 6:30. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Triton Exteriors, St. Louis roofing, siding, and gutter systems. We'll take care of you and your home. We're #1 in the Ladue, Kirkwood, and Webster area. James Hardy certified. Visit triton.stl.com to be connected with a James Hardy expert and receive a free estimate. Triton-STL.com or call 314-717-1159. That's 314-717-1159. Triton Exteriors, St. Louis #1 James Hardy specialists.
Cancer can feel like something we can't do anything about, but you can. There are screening tests that can catch cancer early when it may be easier to treat. Begin cervical screening at age 25. At 45, start colorectal and breast screening. At 50, discuss lung screening with a doctor. Find resources for free and low-cost screening at cancer.org/getscreened. This is a public service message from the American Cancer Society.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Fast approaching. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's the second of 2 deadlines believed to have been set in the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie from her Arizona home, with a possible account also reportedly set up to receive a ransom in Bitcoin. TMZ reporting there have been no transactions.
We are inching closer to that 5 p.m. deadline issued by alleged captors demanding millions of dollars from this family in exchange for their 84-year-old mother, Nancy Guthrie. Now, yesterday, Fox captured an investigator using a pole to probe what appears to be a water hole, a drainage pipe, or a septic tank behind Nancy Guthrie's home. Also on Saturday, Fox Digital captured investigators at the home of Savannah's sister, Annie, apparently taking pictures on the property at night. Law enforcement in unmarked cars spent about 2.5 hours at the sister's house Saturday night, which is about 4 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home where we are.
Fox's Matt Finn in Tucson. It's day 9 of the search. There's been no word of any proof of life given to the family. 5 days left to make a deal on Homeland Security funding.
There's not a whole lot of confidence here on the Hill that a deal is going to be reached by this Friday deadline when it comes to that DHS funding. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says he hasn't even had a single conversation with the White House yet. But Democrats have communicated their demands for ICE reforms to Republicans, with Hakeem Jeffries and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer providing a list of 10 ICE reforms that they're demanding.
Fox's Bill Malugin at the Capitol. The top Republican negotiator, Senator Katie Britt, calls it a ridiculous Christmas list of demands for the press, also warning a DHS shutdown would hurt other agencies more than ICE, including the TSA. Britain's King Charles said to be ready to support a police probe of claims that his brother, the now former Prince Andrew, gave confidential trade information to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. America is listening to Fox News.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Sunshine remains in control going through our Monday afternoon. Temperatures mainly in the 50s. Tonight, clear skies, 42 for the overnight low. Not too bad for evening plan. Tuesday, partly sunny with some increasing clouds during the afternoon. Tuesday, 62. A couple of spotty rain showers Tuesday night into very early Wednesday. Otherwise, Wednesday is dry and sunny, 50. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murphy.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
What's the smartest thing a 20-year-old can do with $1,000? This is so simple. Put it into the stock index and forget about it for the rest of your life until you retire. The stock market, an index like the S&P 500, grows at anywhere from 10 to 12% per year, every year of your life. There are some years where it goes flat, but if you look at the last 100 plus years, it's delivered almost double-digit returns the majority of the time. So that is how you retire wealthy. You take the 1,000 and you add a little bit more every week, generally 50% of your salary, and you retire with over $1 million when you're 65.
So there you have Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, talking about what to do with $1,000 when you're 20. Well, what if you got $1,000 when you were born in a Trump account? It's just one of the things that the president's administration has done to try to invest in families, in our future, in ways that are pretty innovative, if you ask me. Let's ask our friend Steve Moore about it, co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity, host of More Money, and author of The Trump Economic Miracle. Steve, happy Monday. Good to have you back here.
Hi, Annie. Good to be with you. Yeah, well, we had a red letter day on Friday, obviously, with the Dow 50,000, which, by the way, is incredible. I mean, when I first came to Washington, the Dow was at a little over 1,000, and now we're at 50,000. So it is true that the best way to make money is just to invest in an index fund over time. And, you know, it was Albert Einstein who said that the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest.
Right.
And the compounding effect of that, it's a great idea that Trump has with these Trump accounts. But, you know, I've been advocating for 30 years that we allow young people to take 10% of their paycheck, and instead of sending it into the black hole of Social Security, where you get this crappy Social Security benefit, you would be able to just put it in an index fund. And if we'd done that, the people retiring, like I just turned 66, I'd have over $2 million in my account. I'd be getting a benefit 3 times more than Social Security pays me. So we ought to start doing that immediately for our, 18, 20, 25-year-old workers. And then when they retire, they'll have millions of dollars in these accounts.
I don't hear the Trump account idea being pitched heavily as a eventual, maybe decades later, replacement or merge with Social Security. Is there a thought here that maybe something like that could be in play, where we just start investing in our retirement from a much younger age and get away from the Social Security model?
I hope so, because I want to make sure that I know that a lot of people probably listening to your show are on Social Security, but
yes.
If you're under the age of 80 and you're getting Social Security, if you had been able to put that money into the kind of IRA type of account I'm talking about, your benefit would probably per month would probably be 2 to 3 times higher, and you'd be able to leave $1 million to your kids. So Social Security is the worst investment you've ever made in your life. And we should really transition this to something that gives people a real ownership in America.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm excited to see. I was able to sign. I don't know why this was the case. I filed my taxes. They only had room on the form to establish 2 Trump accounts, because I learned that you don't get $1,000 if you're not a new baby, but all of children can sign up for them. So I signed 2 of my children up. I have to figure out how to sign the other 2 up, because they didn't have.
Yeah, I have to figure out all the rules. There's a lot of rules with how this works, and I have to confess I'm not familiar with all of them, but I am familiar with the fact that if you keep putting money in each year, by the way, boy, it'll really accumulate rapidly. And by the time, and the cool thing is, let's say you're 25 years old and now you've got, say, $400,000 in that account. You could use that to start a business or, invest in other types of things. That, we want more businesses created in the United States. This would provide the seed capital for the next generation to be a generation of entrepreneurs.
Yes, certainly. And it's I think it's just such a forward-looking policy that this administration has put in. I want to ask you about the difference between like the immediate returns on economic policy and also the long-term gains, because it does seem like this administration and the people who are in it and advising it, like you have yourself over the course of time, that you're really trying to focus on a long game here, not just the how much do eggs cost me today, which they're cheaper today, by the way, for folks who are listening right now. What kind of long game is the president and his administration playing economically?
Well, I think it's both a short-term and long-term game. So, for example, with these Trump accounts, I mean, Trump will be long dead unless he lives to 110. He'll be long dead by the time that these start to really pay off. It's a long-term investment in America's future for our children. And this is one of the most important investments we can possibly make. And I want to just do a nod and a salute to Michael Dell, who put, $6 billion in these accounts for low-income kids. What a great, probably the most important philanthropic gift ever. And so that's a long-term thing. And we'll start to see the benefits of that in 15, 20, 25 years. Whereas, the policies he's put in place, like the tax cuts, the deregulations, the drilling for more oil and gas, those are paying immediate benefits. As I said to you on your show a few weeks ago, this is a powerhouse economy. This is an economy that is really red hot with 4 to 5% economic growth, with gas prices down to $2.79 nationally, with a record amount of oil and gas being produced in the country, with the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Dow all at all-time highs. I mean, it's as the old saying from that movie, it's as good as it gets. I mean, it's hard to see it getting any better. And yet, despite all that, if you look at the polls, I don't really think Trump's doing a good job on the economy. Like, you're not?
How do you get to those people?
People are angry about, beef prices and housing prices, which are high. But, my gosh, the jobs there's 7.5 million jobs open in this country today.
Yeah, let me ask you about the adjustment of the SNAP benefits that we're seeing this across the country in various states that, you have to be, if you're 18 to, I'm trying to remember here, 18 to 64, able-bodied with no dependents, in order to receive SNAP benefits, you're going to have some sort of employment, I guess, or maybe even an attempt to have employment. Is there a shift in understanding, like, appreciation for work once again in this country under this administration?
Well, Trump certainly recognizes that work is critical to, we want welfare to be hand up, not a handout. And, we had something in our hotline today. You mentioned that earlier. And by the way, if people want to get that, just go to unleashprosperity.com and just click on hotline, and we'll send it to you for free every morning. But we had an item today about how only like 8 or 9 states are complying with the federal law, and asking people. So you could literally have a Porsche in your driveway and be getting food stamps. Is that crazy?
It's crazy.
I mean, it's just lunatic. So they get rid of the asset test. So even a millionaire, if they lost their job, could get food stamps. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't understand the logic of that. And the deal is, if you're going to get these government benefits from the taxpayers, you got to either be looking for a job or in a job, unless you're disabled and you can't work. But most states are not complying with that. And guess what? Most of them are blue states: California, Minnesota, Massachusetts, New York. And the amount of fraud we're talking about, folks, is hundreds of billions of dollars. And it's so I'm so sad about this that the Democrats don't even care.
Yeah.
They don't care that people are ripping off the system and just stealing money. It's no different than if I came up to you and put a gun at your head and said, "Give me the money in your wallet." They're stealing.
Well, speaking of, let's go to New York City and Mamdani. And what you probably heard a quote from him over the past week or so, where they said they're going to provide, free buses, free daycare, all these free things, free to some people, but they're just going to tax the uber wealthy. And when he was asked, what are you going to do if they leave? He basically said, we're not going to let them. They're going to make it so painful for them to leave that they have to stay. They've talked about taking businesses away from people. Do you feel as though Mamdani is going to be successful in what I think his successes aren't going to look like successes to the rest of us, but do you think he's going to be able to take and implement some of these socialism policies even deeper than he already has in New York City? I think we might have lost him. Steve, can you hear us okay? All right. I guess we'll cut. All right. We'll get Steve Moore back on to talk about that a little bit more. The Mamdani clip of him going in on the rich people. Ethan, if he calls back, just tell him, sorry, we lost him. If you haven't heard this clip yet, it's jaw-dropping because when you hear people in campaigning, first of all, the whole presentation of Mamdani is super creepy to me. He is so happy to be anti-American. He's so gleeful in his pursuit to socialism. It's just really quite something to behold. Listen to him talk about the rich in New York City and what he wants to do to them, and what he's going to do to turn around and redistribute that wealth.
So let's talk through these policy points. Freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants does not require money from the city. It is a determination made that landlords cannot increase the rent for those about 1 million apartments. That's something the city has done before. Making buses free costs around $700 million. Providing universal childcare costs about $6 billion. These are significant amounts of money. They have to be understood in the context of a $116 billion city budget, a state budget of more than $252 billion. The money that we would raise to fund this agenda is in two parts. The first is by increasing the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey. That would raise $5 billion. This would only impact the most profitable corporations, ones that are making millions of dollars in profits. The second is to increase...
And I'm sorry,
please.
You're sure they're not going to leave it? Y esas compañías no se van a ir de Nueva York. They're not going to leave New York.
So the way that this tax works is it applies to any business doing business here. They could be located in Miami, but if they're doing business in New York, it applies to them. And the reason I believe everyone will keep doing business here is our economy is so large that if it was a country, it would rival the top countries in the world. The second is personal income taxes. I think that the top 1% of New Yorkers who make $1 million or more a year should pay 2% more in personal income taxes. That would raise $4 billion. These are the two major revenue points. But as you've also said, I want to make sure that every dollar we have today is also a dollar that we are spending in the fullest way possible. And what I mean by that is today I'll look at our Department of Education. It's the agency where we spend the most amount of money of any department in City Hall. And what we find is that we're spending $10 billion a year on contracts. There is money that can be saved in the way in which we spend on those contracts, the way in which we procure those contracts, the standardization or lack thereof. We have to make sure, as you said, that every dollar is going to the benefit of the classroom, the kids in the classroom, the teachers who are teaching them.
So he is going to tax every business that does business in New York City. So you want to be a resident of New York City, have that be your home base. You're going to be paying all sorts of New York City based taxes. But if you want to do business in New York City, he says, listen, our economy rivals that of countries. People need to be here. People need to do business here. I mean, that lasts for a minute. And then after a certain amount of time, people go, what if we just did this somewhere else? If Wall Street goes to Austin, Texas, they're cooked in New York City. I mean, you're looking at a man who is trying to build a socialistic, communistic utopia on the back of the capitalism center of the world. You know why New York City is what you say it is? Capitalism, buddy. That's why it is that way. You could bring socialism in, dazzle it with a little touch of communism on the top of it, whatever. You could do all of that on the back of capitalism. And the amount of time it has taken to build up New York City to be the shining city on the hill, how quickly could socialism bring it crumbling down? It's really something to behold, the boldness that this mayor elected by the people of New York City, folks. When are we gonna learn? Show up and vote. Understand what they're doing. Pay attention to what they're doing. Folks, nothing is free. It's only included. Taxes. Taxes, taxes, taxes. And if you look at Mamdani, anybody who has $1 is rich to him. New York City, you better watch out. It'll be interesting to see how Donald Trump manages some of what Mamdani is doing in New York City, if he decides to get involved or not. I know he loves New York City. I still really, really want Donald Trump to run for mayor in the next mayoral election for New York City.
Oh, my gosh.
It would be so fun. And he would win.
If he knew he was going to win, he would do it.
He would win. Of course he would win.
After Mamdani, he's going to have a better chance.
That's what I'm saying. He could go back there and he could do it. It's not, obviously not a step up from New York City, but it would have to be the easiest thing in the world for him after a presidential term. And, we let Joe Biden run the country, so I don't care if Donald Trump is 82 years old. He can handle New York City. He pretty much was running it anyway when he was there in some capacity, showing up from the private sector and making things happen that the city couldn't figure out because they couldn't tell anyway. So let's take a break. YouTube live chat poll, which halftime show did you watch? Did you watch NFL's Bad Bunny, Turning Point's Kid Rock and Friends? Both of them or neither of them? Go to the Any Fry YouTube channel and vote, but text us your thoughts as well. We will highlight some of those when we come back. 314-241-9797. That's the line to text, 314-241-9797. We'll be right back. Stuart's American Mortgage. He's the bagel loan guy, and your financial situation might be incredibly improved with a refinance of your current mortgage. And the obvious thing to do here is to talk to Stewie before you make a decision on where to go and ask him about the bagel loan. Because one of the reasons a lot of people don't refi is because it costs you a boatload of money to do it. Trying to save money month after month after month. But when you go through that refinance process, it maybe costs you 4 figures of whatever. And it's like, well, how long is it actually going to take for me to save anything here? Go to the bagel loan. Go to Stewie. He's the only one with the bagel loan, and refinance, maybe even lower your rate if the rates are down from when you last got your mortgage within the last few years. You can lock in a lower rate. You could even maybe keep your payment exactly where it has been, but cut years off the length of your loan. 314-324-4440. Call 314-324-4440. You can text that number as well and ask Stewie about the bagel loan. Tell him Annie sent you. NMLS number 226715.
September 30th, as we discover the charm of Switzerland, Austria, and Germany with Colette Travel. Spend 4 nights in Bern and then 4 nights at the foot of the Alps in Innsbruck. From the cobblestone streets to the postcard-worthy mountain landscapes of the amazing Alps, we're going to explore the Swiss capital of Bern and lovely Lucerne, the Swiss paradise on the lake. We'll travel the Austrian countryside to Salzburg with a visit to Mozart's birthplace, and then Mirabelle Gardens featured in the Sound of Music. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details. The flights, the meals, the hotels, the local experiences. All you have to do is have the time of your life. Don't miss this trip. Meet me and the folks from Colette to learn more at the Lodge at De Pere, Tuesday, February 24th at 2 p.m. Call Colette at 800-581-8942 or go to 971talk.com/events for details.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. This Nancy Guthrie situation is so bizarre, and I have so many questions. I've paid a lot of attention to this, kind of in my I don't know how to say I pay attention to certain stories that I pay attention to and learn for the show, but then there are very few times where I pay attention to something, but I don't really want to talk about it on the air. The Nancy Guthrie thing, I have a lot of crazy conspiratorial thoughts on what's going on here. They're still looking for, there's another ransom note that is, I think 6 o'clock our time is the deadline. There's never been any proof of life that has been indicated. The latest video where Savannah Guthrie is sitting with her sister and her brother, and they say, we will pay, is worded really strangely to me, the way the message is delivered. I just, this is why I don't want to come on the air and talk about it, is that there is a woman who is missing and or dead, and I am so allergic to the idea of making this like a source of kind of twisted entertainment, and I don't want people to, it seems like voyeurism to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, and I think you were talking to Paul Morrow last week.
Yeah.
And he said something that I hadn't really thought. I mean, it makes sense, but something I wouldn't think of in the media, that he said we got to be real careful because the more attention something like this gets, the more it produces copycats.
Yeah. And they've already arrested somebody who put together some sort of ransom note. And I mean, he was saying today on Fox News, he's like, that note was a joke. The way that was put together, he was mocking it, like how embarrassing that someone thought that they were going to get away with getting money out of this. I also know that I'm not going to be somebody who's going to talk about this, and I'm not going to affect my teeny tiny corner of the universe here on the Annie Fry Show 97.1 is not going to make a difference in that regard. But there's something really strange about it. And I want to know how the story ends. I hope it's a happy ending. I mean, I'm always thinking there's still a chance for a happy ending here, at least a reunification. But I don't feel like is it productive for us to sit here and hash over what we know? Because what we know is not even probably accurate.
And they're being very guarded with what they release, too, because of what Paul Morrow said, that they just don't want it to be...
Other than the fact that they've been saying, we don't have any suspects or people of interest.
Well, unless that's intentionally...
Potentially.
Baiting people, too.
Yeah. I can't imagine, I've thought this from the very beginning, I can't imagine that she's still alive. I hope that she is. But the way this is all being played out is so bizarre to me that I hesitate to... I see a lot of people criticizing, too. A lot of people are criticizing the 24/7 coverage of it. And I'm thinking to myself, too, are there any other missing people in our country right now?
I get that.
And when this is how my brain works. I think to myself, is Nancy Guthrie the only missing person that deserves our nation's attention? The answer to that is no. But I also don't think that Nancy Guthrie deserves less attention. I would like everybody to have this much attention. I'm in a moral conflict with how to cover the story. So we'll probably have Paul Morrow back on this week if he's available to do so and to give us the latest on what's going on. I am paying a lot of attention to it. I just think it's super weird and super fishy. People are accusing the sister Annie of knowing something or whatever. They've looked at her house. So it's like, is it a family thing? People are suggesting it's a drug cartel thing. People are suggesting that it's an inside job or whatever. Like, I don't know. And I'm not going to speculate on the
You can't know. There's no way
guilt
to know.
of these people. It's the same reason why I haven't commented much at all, hardly at all, about the Erica Kirk stuff. Erica Kirk gets a ton of criticism. And if I were in Erica Kirk's position, how would I act? I have no idea, and God forbid I ever have to know the answer to that question. But when I see people like fighting over whether Erica Kirk's mourning is legitimate or whatever, it's just nauseating to me. Do something else with your time. I just think that there are certain things that this is kind of one of those things, like going back to the halftime show, sort of. Remember when we were just entertained? Remember when entertainment was entertainment and then life was life? And then we had this like crash probably around like mid-90s, probably MTV's fault. Real World, Road Rules. Weren't they kind of the original reality TV shows?
Oh, yeah.
Like in concept or whatever, as real as those ever were. But we have no sense. This is what really makes me sad and conflicted, and I don't honestly have an answer to it. I don't know what to do with it. I'm really sensitive to making things that shouldn't be entertainment. And the reality TV world, the 24-hour news cycle, blurs those lines to where there aren't any lines anymore. There are just like stages of what's fully entertainment and what's fully like news and real life. Like, what is real life? Go online. Go on your social media. What's real life there? There was one of the commercials. I don't know that it was a Super Bowl commercial. Gosh dang it. I don't want to get this wrong because it's for a local hospital. I think it was Mercy Hospital. Somebody correct me. They used AI babies.
Oh, yeah?
To say, like, what was your stay like at the hospital? And these babies are so freaking adorable. Somebody comment in the YouTube chat right now if you know who this is, so whose ad this was, so I get it correctly. But they use, like, we're used to, like, baby Trump, baby Marco Rubio. You can tell who all these babies are or whatever, but they're like, what was your stay at the hospital like? And they're just selling the fact that they have, the point of the advertisement is that they have private rooms in the St. Luke's. Lindsay Underwood on Facebook is saying St. Luke's. So I will go with that until someone fights with Lindsay and not me. Lindsay, it's all on you, babe. But they are talking about how, like, we had private rooms and the staff was so great. And I've heard other babies say that their experience was like this, and this. But at St. Luke's, it was puppy sunshine and rainbows or whatever. But they're the cutest little babies ever. And I'm like, this is all AI, obviously. And it's a brilliant commercial, and it looks so real that your mind is like, well, these babies are pretty happy. And well-spoken, I might add. But, the ability for the human eye and the human brain to discern what they're seeing that is real and is not real, that line is blurred now, too. And we have so many people fighting over our understanding and what we're willing to hand our passion. That's what it is. It's passion. Because your passion can manifest in incredibly loving ways, in incredibly hateful, angry ways, in, aggressive ways. Your passion, like, what do you hand your passion over for these days? That's really what marketing is. They want you to feel passionate about the pretzels that they're selling you or the Lay's potato chips that they're selling you. Like, oh, look at this family farm. It's being handed down and he's sad but proud. They're growing potatoes. I'll eat Lay's. Mm-hmm. That's the journey. And that's fine. That's good. I'm not mad at it, but you just have to be a discerning individual now more than we ever have been before, and that's only going to get worse. So when stories like the Nancy Guthrie thing pop up, and you also have true crime podcasts that are sponsored, and then you also have Dateline NBC, which is a story, that retelling of crime stories in that regard. But then you also have Law and Order, which is a TV show about crimes. Like, that's all in the same spectrum. I have to ask myself, like, how do I handle that? And what do I turn the time of this show over to talk about from news? Am I using it as entertainment? And I'm just, considering it's an active situation, I'm hesitant to do so. On the other end of that, though, is a halftime show at a Super Bowl game that we can choose to get really worked up about and really passionate about whatever certain type of emotion gets invoked in that. We can give ourselves over to that. And at the end of, after being the most passionate that you can possibly be, like, then what? It's lunchtime. I mean, that's pretty much it, isn't it? So, like, I really would like to, I'm constantly trying for my own purposes to employ indifference when people are really trying hard to get my passion. Like, would indifference work here better than passion? And the answer, like, that's never what they're trying to get out of you. Indifference is a really, really powerful tool. All right, when we come back, the Wiggins America Monday Roundup, we're going to do that next, so keep it right here. Go vote in the poll. Which halftime show did you watch? NFL's Bad Bunny, Turning Point's Kid Rock and Friends, both or neither? You got a comment from a listener on the text line, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797.
Says, I watched both. TPUSA was good with solid artists who can actually sing. The entire thing was family-friendly, with a solid patriotic vibe. The Bad Bunny show was okay. Buddy was a typical entertainer, below-average voice, and relied on dancers and an interesting set to tell a story.
Yeah, I did think this set was interesting. I just thought it looked like a Broadway play as opposed to...
There's a lot going on. I mean, it's going to be a good show with that much invested in it.
Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to say that. All right, let us know what you think. YouTube poll. Text us your thoughts on the halftime shows, 314-241-9797. Back in a minute.
Time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds. And most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to Grads of Life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
We depend on our roofs to keep us dry and protected year-round. That's why the roofing company you choose is so important. Mark Cox here for my friends at Correll Roofing Company. You can trust my friend Curtis Correll. And here's one thing he'll tell you right now, and it's his experience. A lot of roofing companies will try to install roofs when the temperature is below freezing. And here's what you need to know. Curtis has been praised by a lot of people in the industry because he will not install a roof on those cold days. He said that shingle manufacturers will deny warranty claims if that roof is installed on a sub 40 degree day. Did you know that? That's why honesty is important. If your insurance company has denied coverage for your roof, call Curtis at Correll Roofing. He loves working with insurance companies. He would be happy to get a second assessment from them. Call him at 314-222-9529. Tell him Mark Cox sent you. You can go online in anytime at CorrellRoofingCo.com.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit ThrottleNet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, which halftime show did you watch? Did you watch NFL, Bad Bunny? Did you watch TPUSA, Kid Rock, and Friends? Both or neither. Billy, chiming in on the YouTube channel, says, I watched a lot of the TPUSA show, but I wish there were some rock and roll acts. Not a huge country fan. Well, guess what? Maybe next year. It is 1:38. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
25 years strong. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins! Oh! Monday Roundup! Yeah! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
All right, everything you missed from the weekend that's important. You know, there's some stuff that I overlooked, but I want to start with the
In
things
10 minutes.
you need to know. The first one is, I'm just going to read the headline. You're going to go, well, that's not that important, but wait. It says, man accused of breaking into Little Caesars.
Oh.
But there's more.
I like how you say accused of.
Well, you have to say accused of.
Well, did they arrest him in there?
I think he's facing felony charges, so whatever that means. It says a North Carolina man is facing felony charges after police say he broke into a Little Caesars restaurant in Kinston. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. Instead of just breaking in and trying to rob them, he started making pizzas.
I just want to work, people. Will you let me work? What state is Kinston?
North Carolina. North Carolina.
Not a Florida man.
Here's where it gets even more interesting. He started selling them to customers. The store was closed because of the winter storm that had forced many businesses to shut down temporarily.
How did he know how to make Little Caesars pizzas?
It's a very good question. Investigators say that the break-in happened Sunday as icy conditions swept across eastern North Carolina, leaving roads slick and storefronts shuttered. Officers allege the man kept the cash from the pizza. That's where it gets a little dicey.
Man, I was rooting for this guy up until then.
Until then.
So now he's a thief.
Right. And later returned to the restaurant in an apparent second attempt to break in and maybe make more pizzas.
Got to get the crazy bread.
At which point police arrested him. No injuries were reported.
Are you a Little Caesars fan?
I am.
Brad?
I like Little Caesars.
Yeah, I like Little Caesars.
Do you like it because it's cheap and fast or because it's good?
I like it because it's cheap and fast, but it also is good.
I don't know. It reminds me of childhood. There was a movie store right next to a Little Caesars whenever I was growing up, and we get the Little Caesars Bigfoot.
Oh, the two
The two
pizzas,
and then
right?
we get some movies, and that was our Friday evenings. So,
pizza.
Yep, tastes like childhood.
Crazy bread?
Sure. Probably more than the pizza.
Yeah, I love Crazy Bread. It's so good. They have their little pizza pocket. They're like little cups of pizza now.
Excuse me, what?
They're little.
It's a cup of
I don't know what you call it. They're like a little disc.
Two fingers of pepperoni pizza.
It's a little disc
Ew.
of pizza that you can get, and that you get 4 of them. They're really good.
I've gotten myself in my adult life to the place where I can turn away pizza unless it's like good quality pizza. Like most of my food consumption is like, people talk about grief to dollar ratio. It's grief to calorie ratio, or enjoyment to calorie ratio. It has to be, if it's like not good for you, but it is an experience to eat it, then I will eat it, and I just will try not to eat a lot of it. And I don't like to overfill myself at all. Having been so nauseous during pregnancy 4 times, one of the things that would make me nauseous is if I felt too full, and then I would throw up. So I've grown comfortably averse to even remotely overeating, and if I do overeat, I definitely feel nauseous for quite some time. But like, if it's a really, really great dessert, I don't care how many calories are in it.
Good for you.
If you were going to take the calories out of that dessert, it would not taste good.
That's the way I live life.
Yeah, but also like in everything, or just like treats?
Just food, but all food.
What would happen if RFK Jr. spent a day with Ryan Wiggins?
I think we'd probably have a nice time
Push-ups and no artificial dyes?
No. We wouldn't eat a lot. We'd probably avoid that.
Do you avoid that?
We'd just be hanging out.
He'd be like, so, you hungry?
And I'd say, who's paying? And he'd say, me. And I'd say, you go ahead, man. Let's eat.
He eats meat and fermented.
I love meat.
Fermented foods.
I like fermented foods too, though. I like kimchi. So if he brought me a nice filet mignon with some kimchi, I'd say, let's go, buddy. Let's do this. And then let's have a rockin' good time, buddy.
Invitation's open. Your move,
Your
Bobby.
move, RFK. I'm moving on to a story about you, my friend. RFK says that a Harvard researcher has cured schizophrenia with the keto diet. Now, I've been reading about this.
In humans?
Yes. Well, it says Dr. Palmer at Harvard has cured schizophrenia using the keto diet. There's studies right now that say people lose their bipolar diagnosis by changing their diet. It's affecting physical health and mental health as well, says this article. There's, of course, a lot of pushback from people saying, no, it's too early. It's not real. Here's what the other studies say. But I still find it very interesting that he is willing to look outside the box for those things. And if even some of them are true.
Why would, I mean, I don't know about the scientific facts backing that up, nor will I. I'll eventually have to take someone smarter than me's word for it, one way or the other. But if we have been generationally inundating our bodies with chemicals and faux food and food substitutes, why wouldn't it have an effect on the way our body functions?
Of course it would. You are what you eat, they say, and that's why I eat as I do. Would you say that I'm a picture of health? You don't have to answer that.
Yes,
until we
you're
get
a
off
picture
air.
of health.
Thank you very much.
Define what kind of health, but yes.
Would you say it's kind of an abstract art? All right, next one.
I'm trying. I don't want to be mean. I
I'm-
know that'll
I'm
come as
walking
a
you into
surprise.
it. Bit of
I
a
don't
Monet.
want. No, I don't want to. I don't want to make fun of your health. You've said on the air before how you have cystic fibrosis, and you have. You said one time that the age that you were was like over the course of your lifetime, the expected life life expectancy for someone with CF was like you just kept being
Is
that
the
age.
I am usually.
Yeah.
And I think it still continues to be.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next one is I'm scooping Ethan maybe a little bit here because it's a local story.
Oh, that's what you should do from now on in Wiggins, America.
Just take everything.
Just
he's
try
gonna
to do all the sports.
SLU basketball.
Oh, you can't do that one.
I'm not.
Set it aside.
I'm not. This is about the St. Louis region. It says the St. Louis region has seen very little growth, but lots of movement in recent years.
Define. Like, what do you mean by movement?
It's exactly what you think it is, Brad. You just did it with your finger. It's
stirred around.
Yeah, people are moving around in the St. Louis region and don't necessarily want to leave. But it says for 15 years, the St. Louis region hasn't grown much in population, but numbers point to plenty of movement, not necessarily away from the region, but within it. So people are moving from, of course, places
big small
like,
town.
Yep, the city center to areas around it much more. St. Louis City and St. Louis County have been the biggest drops percentage-wise. Franklin, Missouri, and Lincoln, Missouri have seen some of the biggest growth. Basically, the farther out you get, the more percentage growth you're going to see. So it's not really a surprise. It's just now there's data, and it shows the last 5 years, 2020 to 2024.
How many
the data
times
supports it?
have you moved? Like really moved?
So I think probably a total of 5, including college.
How many times have you moved? How many houses have you lived in with your wife?
2.
Same. You guys?
One house. As an adult, I've moved 3 times total in my life.
Yeah, I always love when you have to take the test to see who you are, to prove who you are, and it gives you some addresses. Do you ever live at this address? And one of them is one I lived at for 2 months.
They know.
2003, and I'm like, I can barely even remember I was there.
It remembers.
But it remembers.
Yeah.
For sure.
They, capital T, remember.
They do.
Go vote in the poll today. Which halftime show did you watch? We got a lot of feedback coming in for this. Be a part of it. Be a part of the vote. And let us know what you think. We got 275 votes in this poll so far. That's more than we get in a whole show sometimes. So let us know what you think. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
President Trump's State of the Union address, and I'm taking you with me. We'll have real-time reaction and the Mark Cox Morning Show live from the Fox News D.C. Bureau, February 24th and 25th, sponsored by Correll Roofing and Golden Oak Lending.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholz of Kaufman Townsley. And here's one of our clients.
The team at Kaufman Townsley really goes above and beyond to take care of their clients and secure them the justice they deserve.
Injured? Call 314-777-7777.
Hi, it's Mark Cox inviting you to join me September 30th as we discover the charm of Switzerland, Austria, and Germany with Colette Travel. Spend 4 nights in Bern and then 4 nights at the foot of the Alps in Innsbruck. From the cobblestone streets to the postcard-worthy mountain landscapes of the amazing Alps, we're going to explore the Swiss capital of Bern and lovely Lucerne, the Swiss paradise on the lake. We'll travel the Austrian countryside to Salzburg with a visit to Mozart's birthplace, and then Mirabelle Gardens featured in The Sound of Music. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details. The flights, the meals, the hotels, the local experiences. All you have to do is have the time of your life. Don't miss this trip. Meet me and the folks from Colette to learn more at the Lodge at De Pere, Tuesday, February 24th at 2 p.m. Call Colette at 800-581-8942 or go to 971talk.com/events for details.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25 plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com. Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Annie Fry is St. Louis conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I just went to refill my water here, so I've been trying really hard. It's not like a New Year thing, but it's just my ability to manage or to lose weight is 100% centered around my water consumption. I can do all the things and not drink enough water, and I'm cooked.
Well, you have to drink water to
Lots
lose
of
weight?
water.
Okay.
Or just manage. But, you know, if I'm trying to drop a few pounds or if I've dropped some weight and I want to stay there, I have to drink probably around 100 ounces of water a day.
Gosh, that's a lot.
It's like 2.5 of these suckers. It's a 40 ounce, I think, Stanley. I bought this Stanley at a Dick's Sporting Goods. Where does it say how much is in there? And I was going to a basketball tournament, an away trip to Peoria with my daughter. And we went to the store to buy a couple of things. And they had these on the shelf on the way out. And I was like, because this one is a Stanley. It's got a handle on it. But the biggest thing it has is a straw that I can drink through that closes. So if I have this on and closed and the lid screwed on and the straw closed and it falls over, it won't spill, which in the studio is very important, but also in my car and all the other places. And so I was like, oh, I could use one of these. So I just took it. And Jensen looks at me and she goes, but Mom, is that the color you want? And I'm like, I just want the cup. And she couldn't believe, because like that's kind of an accessory, the Stanley. It used to be a Yeti. Now it's a Stanley or an Owala. If you know, you know, an Owala water bottle. The color choice is so important. And when she said like, but Mom, is that the color you want? There was a part of me that was like, ooh, yeah, you're right. I don't know. And then I was like, I just want the cup. And I felt a decade older in that moment. That the cup wasn't, the accessory of the cup was not the important part of it. Are you having any signs of aging? Also, to add to that, this is my cup. I do not share it with people. I will give it to my kids, but if I give it to my kids, then I want to clean the whole thing. And I just took a sip of it in the last segment, and when I looked down through the lid, there were floaty things in there. So
it's nasty.
So I went to fill it up, and then I fill it up, and now it's full of soapy. I put this ice in the water in it, and it had a bunch of Dawn soap foam on the top, so I got to go do it again.
Gross.
It's cleaner than it was before.
I got to clean you out, too. Drink a bunch of soap.
What?
You know what I mean.
Do you have any of those things where it's just a little thing that used to matter a lot? And listen, if I would have had a wall of Stanleys to pick from, I would have picked the one that I liked the most. But I didn't, because they were right there, and I thought that's something I need. And I took it, and I spent $40 on a mug or whatever this cost. And I was kind of frustrated that it didn't bother me, that I wasn't picking the right one. And then I was like, maybe this is a moment I just need to let that go and be 41.
I do have a couple of those things that have happened as I've gotten older. And I hate them, but I now deeply care about...
Do you wear your underwear for comfort now?
I don't know how to answer that. Because I'm not sure I ever wore them for discomfort. I don't...
Just the stories that I've heard when you were going to the Cubs games.
I care about my trees now. I care about the health of the trees on my property.
What does that look like?
Well, if I see that there's one of those little worm casing things that's getting up there and with a tree, I'm like, I got to deal with that. I got to get rid of that thing.
I have a theory that men just want to be bothered by something because it makes you feel like you got a job, you got something to do.
I do not want to be bothered by that.
So
I used to not care at all about that kind of stuff.
Why do you care now?
Because we've lost a couple trees and now I feel bad. I'm like, really got to get it together. Yeah, it's like a lifetime of work to get a nice big tree on your property. And then if you don't take care of it.
Not a lot of work for you.
It's not been a lot of work, and therefore I have less trees than I used to.
Yeah.
Because they're not healthy. So then I've been looking for a tree expert.
So you learned a lesson here.
Somebody to come and take a look at them. And we had one that has this nasty open sore going right up it. And I'm like, well, that's got to be unhealthy. So I had paid for somebody to come and take a look at it, and they go, no, that's fine.
What? They charge you to look at it?
Yeah. They're botanists. They're St. Louis area botanists. And they come and look at your plants. And there's apps that do it, but they're not as good as the guy.
Never are. What about the women?
I don't know. I was a guy. And he came out and looked at the tree. He said, that vein running right through that thing, that's fine. That's not going to hurt you.
That'll be $100?
Yeah, but then I didn't have him look at the other trees because I thought, well, I just want to see what he says about this one. And then I never had him look at the apple tree that's fallen down in the backyard.
Quick Rick says, I know that feeling, Ryan.
Thank you. Every guy past a certain age is going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
Have you started observing birds yet?
No. Hate them. Eat them.
Just get rid of those trees.
Chicken, turkey. Let's just eat you guys.
That's not really the birds that I anticipate you
observing
ones I think in your yard.
I can tell you exactly how fast a turkey runs, and I told you last week it's as fast as a golf cart.
YouTube live chat poll. Which halftime show did you watch? The Bad Bunny, Kid Rock, both of them, or neither of them? You go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel. You can vote there, but we also want to know your thoughts through the text line. You can text us anytime. Put this number in your phone and text us when you so choose. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Back in a minute.
A medical chart is not your identity.
And vision loss does not define you.
Your drive shows who you are.
And you are not alone.
Because we are driven too.
To be a beacon of strength.
a champion of courage,
an advocate for hope.
You are not alone.
because we are stronger together.
We drive the research for the cures we are finding.
We're fighting macular degeneration,
retinitis pigmentosa,
Usher syndrome,
and the entire spectrum of blinding retinal diseases.
we fund,
we fight.
We win.
We
are the foundation fighting blindness.
Together, we are fighting blindness.
Join the fight at fightingblindness.org.
CiviaLaw.com. Have you reached out to Todd Civia yet? I get quite a few emails from folks who are saying, what's that estate attorney that you talk about? Todd Civia. Todd Civia at Civia Law. Illinois and Missouri offices that you can visit in Missouri, Wentzville and Creve Coeur. In Illinois, you can go to Edwardsville, East Alton, Swansea, Centralia, Mount Vernon. It's all over the place. And he's also got a lot of workshops that you can attend. These are free workshops. So if you go to civialaw.com/events, Civia, S-I-V-I-A, civialaw.com/events, you'll be able to see where he's going to be. And it's both sides of the river. It's all over the listening area. Todd Civia is ready to help you in those transitions that you have in life. You need an estate plan. You need to have powers of attorney established. You want to avoid probate. That's going to cost you a lot of time and, of course, a lot of money if you don't make the plan ahead of time. So call 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL. Go to civialaw.com.
Meet Linda. She's stuck in a school pickup line, thinking about what to make for dinner. Are the kids' practice jerseys clean? If she sent out that last email before leaving work. But you know what she's not thinking about? Her HVAC system. Linda is a preferred partner with Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. Members get 2 HVAC system checks per year. We clean and inspect your HVAC systems at each visit. Partners also get priority service and exclusive discounts starting at just $19 per month. Life is chaos, but with Air Comfort Service, you'll have peace of mind with your HVAC system. Visit aircomfortservice.com today. After all, comfort is our middle name.
Does heart disease run in your family? Give yourself peace of mind with our cardiac MRI bundles at Specialty MRI. Personalized scans designed to give you clear, meaningful answers. No long waiting rooms. Scan today for a peace of mind tomorrow. Call us at 636-591-1288. That's 636-591-1288.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
A family desperate for answers. Lisa Brady, Fox News, and pleading with a kidnapper for their mother's release.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her.
Savannah Guthrie and her siblings in another video over the weekend to whoever has their mother saying they received your message and that they will pay.
We don't know whether since they posted that video saying we will pay, whether the Guthrie family has indeed paid and whether if they have, that has triggered the kidnapper to, as was promised in the ransom note, to return Nancy Guthrie to Tucson within a certain time frame.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in Tucson. Later today is the second of 2 deadlines that a suspected ransom note had set. It's 9 days since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was reported missing from her Arizona home. Multiple agencies, including the FBI, continue to search Guthrie's property and over the weekend, her daughter Annie's home as well. Another partial government shutdown could happen later this week as Democrats demand changes in immigration enforcement policies before agreeing to any Homeland Security funding.
Senate Democrats have sent legislative text on a DHS spending plan to their Republican counterparts. Now, last week, you'll remember Chuck Schumer announced a list of 10 demands for ICE reforms. That includes judicial warrants, body cams, and end to roving patrols, forcing ICE agents to unmask and also forcing them to carry and show ID.
Fox's Bill Malugin on Capitol Hill. The lead Republican negotiator, Senator Katie Britt, calls the demands a ridiculous Christmas list and says a shutdown would hurt other DHS agencies much more than ICE, which has funding for more than a year already approved in legislation last year. A deposition in a House panel's Jeffrey Epstein probe hits a wall as convicted Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell pleads the fifth, refusing to answer questions today appearing from a prison in Texas. America is listening to Fox News.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Sunshine remains in control going through our Monday afternoon. Temperatures mainly in the 50s. Tonight, clear skies. 42 for the overnight low. Not too bad for evening plans. Tuesday, partly sunny with some increasing clouds during the afternoon. Tuesday, 62. A couple of spotty rain showers Tuesday night into very early Wednesday. Otherwise, Wednesday is dry and sunny. 50. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murphy.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Alternative halftime performance. The show drawing in more than 10 million live viewers and more than 25 million views on social media platforms. The Turning Point team also dedicated those performances to the life of Charlie Kirk. Alternative halftime performance. The show.
All right, so let's talk about a little bit about the halftime show situation, a little bit more in depth about what people's options were over the course of the 20 minutes or so that a halftime show actually takes place. That was Carly Shimkus reporting that over 10 million live viewers for the TPUSA one. And I have a clip here from Morning Joe saying 133 million people watched the Bad Bunny one. It's a global event. There's people watching it all over the world. So naturally, I would expect that to happen. I mean, the Turning Point one is such a niche of people. So, I was trying to think to myself, like, what does success really look like here for those individuals? What does it really look like for Turning Point to be able to pull this off? Like, what would an embarrassment be? What would a huge success be? I mean, you're not competing in a numbers to numbers capacity because you couldn't possibly. The idea is that you have an alternative, and that's just kind of, you want to draw eyes there. So I'm looking right now at the live stream on the Turning Point USA YouTube channel. And the live stream from yesterday is up to over 20 million views for just the Turning Point USA YouTube channel live stream.
That's what I was looking at this morning. It said it was.
How could anybody look at that and say that it wasn't a success?
Yeah. I mean, 10 million live and then 10 million extra after the fact. You think about any stream or TV show anywhere getting that kind of number, and they're thrilled.
Go look seriously, go look and see what the cable news ratings are, how many views they get per night. The Turning Point USA 20-minute live stream would have outranked every cable news show that exists right now in the evening.
Oh, yeah. And this is...
For some perspective.
Keep in mind, this is against the Super Bowl. It's the most watched event...
On television.
On television every year and has been for my entire life. So to counter-program against it is a pretty big feat.
Here is Andrew Colvett. Is that how you say his last name?
Colvett, yep.
He is like the head guy at Turning Point other than Erica Kirk. And I think the producer maybe of the Charlie Kirk show. Listen
Andrew,
here.
I watched your show. It was great. How did you do? Do you have a sense of how many people watched?
Yeah, it was kind of blew our minds actually a little bit, Brian. And we saw at one point across all the different social channels, we saw over 10 million concurrent views. So that was adding up all of Rumble and all of our partners just on the social side. So, and now the numbers keep trickling in. I mean, right now as I'm sitting here, YouTube's numbers keep updating. And so we're trying to put it all together. What I can safely say is that we are now over 20 million viewers across just social. So we haven't even gotten our partner broadcasters, their analytics. As you know, sometimes the ratings take a little while, but that's 20 million viewers. And we don't know how many people were gathered together, 3, 4, 10 in a room watching together. So we're going to try and put a final number on that when we can. What we can safely say is over 20 million Americans tuned in to the All-American Halftime Show tonight.
I looked at the pregame show. They had Green Day, the most anti-American band you can imagine. They wrote their hits album was called The American Idiot, and the lyrics reflect what he thinks of America and our policies. And then they have at halftime Bad Bunny. I mean, NFL is the #1 league in the world, and they do a lot right. I don't understand why in the year 250 they wouldn't think red, white, and blue, but you did. Lee Brice also released a song that is so appropriate about our culture. Talk about that.
Yeah, he actually wrote that in honor of Charlie. So, he has a ton of hits, and he wanted to play this one. We said, absolutely. You wrote it for Charlie in his honor, so do it. And, I mean, that's what you saw from all of our performers. They did something special to honor the moment, honor how big the stage was, honor Charlie, honor our country. And you saw that from Kid Rock, who said God woke him up in the middle of the night to write another verse to that hit song, Till You Can't. And he used it to, glorify Jesus and lift up his faith and be loud and proud about that. But really, there was no agenda. It was just good music for Americans, for people that wanted to feel proud about their country, wanted to love their country, love their God, and love some great music. So, and that was in contrast to the other guys.
So there you have Andrew Colvett, the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, kind of saying this is what our show was about. Do you agree with him saying there was no agenda? Having watched the show.
No, I don't know. It's a countercultural agenda on purpose. That doesn't mean that counterculture has to have a hard stance. It's culture. It's not politics. It's culture.
It's culture, right.
And you're exactly right to say that it's a counterculture message because, first of all, usually counterculture is the future culture. It eventually moves. It either, fades away or takes over. It doesn't really stay that way for very long. But that's because what used to be counterculture, like when we were growing up, I can't emphasize enough how a huge reason why Bad Bunny was chosen for the halftime show, and this is not to discredit any of the success that he has, because if you're looking at like downloads and records and all that stuff, like his success, those are stats that go on your baseball card. They cannot be disputed. But the reason why he was chosen, it was highly controversial. We're all talking about it. We've been talking about it forever. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I said to you guys off air when it was announced, I'm like, I am not talking about Bad Bunny for months leading up to the Super Bowl. I am not taking that bait. I do not want to do it. That's why they chose Bad Bunny, is so that they could get all of this lead up, get all the, I mean this in the double entendre, right people angry about it so that they'll talk about it. Now, if you go on Facebook, you see people on both sides of the aisle that have taken hard political stances about Bad Bunny singing in all Spanish at the American football halftime show. But the ones who are, obviously oppositional to how I am politically, not really about the halftime show. The halftime show is now about the Epstein files. Do you know this?
No.
Imagine people being more upset about the halftime show than they are about the Epstein files.
Okay.
You pay attention to that and text me when you see your first connection of the Epstein files. So that means that the lens that the people on the other side of the political aisle from us, I'm not talking about like having a differing opinion about a music act. Music is art, and art is interpretive. Somebody puts together something artistic, and they're presenting something to be criticized and critiqued and loved and hated. And when you put out art, you know that people are going to judge it. That's the point, isn't it? And the art is an extension of the artist. So, of course, people are going to judge it and love it and hate it. That's fine. What you don't want people to do is be indifferent to it, correct? You don't want people to just walk by and not even stop and think about it. So, are the people who are championing Bad Bunny as this is one of the greatest halftimes I've seen in a really long time? Is it because of the art? So I've seen some of those comments as well in my social media feeds. But almost every single time, eventually it comes back to politics. Eventually there's a comment about ICE. Eventually there's a comment about nobody is illegal. Eventually there's a comment about the Epstein files. So those people all had those comments ready before the halftime show even started. Which means it's not really about Bad Bunny, and Jay-Z knows that, who's the guy who puts together the NFL halftime show. I think the NFL knows that. They don't care what you say. All publicity is good publicity. Let's do something that'll get people talking. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? People go, oh, it was all right. It was fine. I think they'd rather have people enraged and overly pumped about it, and it's not, I can't stress this enough. In my view, it's not even about the production of the show. It's about everything they're able to wrap around it.
I might be making too big of a deal out of this, but I've learned to just tune it out.
Yeah.
Because I know, and this is where I kind of like, if you want to say my feelings
callous.
are hurt. Yes, it's a callous.
It's
exactly
a callous.
Right. Because I know that those people making those decisions do not care about me.
Not at all.
And they don't want anybody like me to be satisfied with any of the art or entertainment that goes along with the football game. I would think I would be writing the key demo for what the NFL
55-year-old male.
No, that's not funny. Some people might find that funny, not me. I'm 44.
I do.
44. I would say that I'm probably the viewer that is the most common demo that's watching football, even though I don't really care about the NFL anymore. But they don't care about me. They figure
who's they?
The NFL. They don't care about entertaining me, and this is why I think I'm making a little bit too big of a deal about it. It's a little bit offensive to think they have decided I do not care about you at the biggest event of the year.
I think that they think that the average 40s, 50s dude is going to be there. They don't need to earn you.
I get that.
You're going to be there because
that.
The normal dude who's out there is going to be sitting watching the football game and probably is the party that is going to be the least interested in the halftime show.
But the problem is we are now leaving. We're leaving in the middle of the biggest show of the year to go watch something else.
I think the problem of it really is that if you know that you've got the dude eyes on the game, you've already got them on your channel. You've got their eyes, let's be real, on the ads, like in the room, and you bring in a spouse and 2.5 kids or whatever it might be for every man that you get that, there are other people who are coming with you. So how do you make it a bigger event for the other people who are brought into the room? Because the football game is what gets the generic Ryan Wiggins
I understand.
in the room. But here's where I think you're 100% right. It's not just that they've just determined that the halftime show isn't really for the dudes. It's that they haven't considered the dudes in the greater scheme of things. Like, I don't think that the whole Super Bowl production should be about the 50-year-old man. It should be broader than that. There should be things of interest that extend outside of that. I think they 100% should keep in mind that there will be children watching these games. And the dancing, I said to my husband while we were watching the Bad Bunny one, I said, if my grandmothers, especially my paternal grandmother. If I were sitting here next to her watching this, she wouldn't believe that this was just on public television. However, I'm going to tell you, that's what Bad Bunny does. You hire him, you know what he's going to do. And that's not the first time there's been a scantily clad woman with like low shot cameras. I mean, it basically was like, here's the baby making stuff. And that was the majority of the camera shots were right in the undercarriage, folks. And my oldest daughter was in the room and she just kept like looking over me like, this is a lot. This halftime show is not the first time that halftime has shown that type of stuff. I can remember seeing nipples. I was just thinking, has Justin Timberlake ever? Oh, yeah, that's right. He was in like the halftime show with Janet Jackson. We know the story there. To me, the question is, how do you serve the majority of people who are there with a show that just entertains everybody, continues to lift up the moment for the most people? And to your point, like they don't care what you think. I think in Jay-Z's mind, it's not indifference. It's the passion on the other side. If he can take an opportunity to kind of thump you on the head while he's doing it, putting together the show, he's going to kind of take a little bit of joy in the ability to do that, to make a statement.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying.
It's not like they're being indifferent to the people who really make this game successful, which is that middle-aged dude. It's that they're actually going to say, you're going to sit, we got you for the football. Now sit down and watch what else you're going to listen to. And it's offensive to some extent, and maybe to a large extent for some, that they use this as an opportunity to be preachy. I think I like the culture aspect, the Puerto Rican culture aspect that something like that can bring into a performance, but it has to be a part of something. America is not North America and South America. This is the United States of America. American football in these Central American countries and these South American countries, American football is football. Football is soccer everywhere else. This is America's game. And when we say America, in America, we mean the United States of America. We mean the U.S. of A. We don't mean together we are all America, which is what the football said at the end of the Bad Bunny. Did you see that? At the end of his production. This is where it got under my skin. At the end of it, he holds a football up to the camera and it says on there, together we are all America. And behind him were all of the flags from the Americas. And I'm just thinking, okay, cool point. You want to make this statement at the Grammys? You want to make this statement as like a show or whatever? Okay, cool. But why is the American flag, the United States of American flag, not at the front? And why is the point at a Super Bowl halftime show that United States, it's not just about you? That was the ending point. The finale of that performance was Bad Bunny holding up a flag, or holding up a football with all of the flags behind him, led by the Puerto Rican flag, holding up a football to the camera with, according to Joe Scarborough, 133 million viewers saying, together we are all America. Okay. Glad I watched the TPUSA one first. Because that one celebrate, like, are we the only people who don't get to celebrate our freaking culture?
Yes, that's the point.
We're
the only people that don't publicly get to celebrate culture.
The whole thing was a celebration of culture for all of these other countries. Do you think that there are any sort of cultural differences between Colombians and Brazilians? Do you think there's anything that they would be like, no, that's our thing? Do you think there's anything out there that Puerto Ricans and Cubans would say, oh, no, that's Puerto Rican, that's not Cuban? Well, why the hell do Americans not get to have American football? And guess what? If you want to celebrate American football and understand that American football and the United States of America as a whole is a melting pot of people who come here oftentimes to flee countries that are not safe to be in, to raise their families in, that must mean there's something great about this country that we live in. Why the hell can't we celebrate it? Well, of course we can. And we should. And yesterday, Turning Point decided to do so. And they did it in a way that was cultural, not political. And the NFL said, we're going to do something cultural to make a political statement. It was a choice. If you were mad about the halftime show yesterday, it was a choice by the NFL. It was a choice by Jay-Z, who they hired to make this choice. So you just got to understand, like, you're wasting time and you're making it too easy for people to argue back if you make it about Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny was hired to do what he did, and he did it. Nobody should be surprised by that. Move your ire or your frustration or whatever you have towards the people intentionally making these decisions. Ethan, Sports and Local, next on the Annie Fry Show. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. What halftime show did you watch? I watched both. Did you? Go vote. We'll be right back. AirComfortService.com. Get in your comfort zone with the experts at Air Comfort Service. And a reminder, I want to encourage you to put this phone number down for yourself or for if you help take care of a loved one, maybe mom or dad are in their house by themselves, together, by themselves, alone, whatever it might be. Anytime it gets super cold, you're kind of checking in, like, how's it going? Warm in the house, that type of thing. If you ever need 24/7 emergency service around the clock, holidays, night, whatever, early morning, you want Air Comfort Service to be the people who come out and check on that, especially if you're sending them to mom and dad's house, because you want people you can trust to come in your home to treat the situation correctly and to make sure that the solution is provided accurately and quickly. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. Air Comfort Service will come assess your situation and get you into a solution very, very quickly. You can trust them. I have in my home, you can too. Online at aircomfortservice.com.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation, so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
Doesn't it feel like you hear all the time from retired friends and family, I wish someone had told me this before I retired? Or why didn't anybody tell me this? Why is this not a class? Well, that's exactly why Financial and Tax Architects was founded. FTA keeps hardworking families in St. Louis make sense of retirement. They show them how to keep more of what they've earned and how to make it last. That way you can get some sleep at night. You don't have to second guess every expense leading up to retirement. You understand what's going on. Their Retirement Planning 101 class is a practical, no-cost course. They teach it at local colleges. It's just one night. You learn strategies to reduce taxes, plan your income, make confident decisions about Social Security and taxes and inflation. And FTA focuses on education. They try to change the way you retire. Call 888-5101 or go to fta-ria.com to register.
Hi, it's Mark Cox inviting you to join me September 30th as we discover the charm of Switzerland, Austria, and Germany with Colette Travel. Spend 4 nights in Bern and then 4 nights at the foot of the Alps in Innsbruck. From the cobblestone streets to the postcard-worthy mountain landscapes of the amazing Alps, we're going to explore the Swiss capital of Bern and lovely Lucerne, the Swiss paradise on the lake. We'll travel the Austrian countryside to Salzburg with a visit to Mozart's birthplace, and then Mirabelle Gardens featured in The Sound of Music. This and so much more. Colette handles all the details. The flights, the meals, the hotels, the local experiences. All you have to do is have the time of your life. Don't miss this trip. Meet me and the folks from Colette to learn more at the Lodge at De Pere, Tuesday, February 24th at 2 p.m. Call Colette at 800-581-8942 or go to 971talk.com/events for details.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy, weight gain, or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests. with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Ho, 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 hold up. Check it out. It's Ethan.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's a big build-up for just Ethan.
That was our voice guy doing
Ethan.
Fergie.
Ethan, did you watch both halftimes? What'd you do?
I watched neither in live time. I was with a group of friends, and I really appreciated it.
Was there a big political fight and you couldn't agree?
No, he just, he was hosting a bunch of people, and he said, you know what, I don't want to cause that kind of conversation. He also said, I have no idea at today's day and age, what kind of exposure there's going to be on the halftime show. So he didn't show either
on
of them.
the NFL one.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So I went back and I watched Bad Bunnies as soon as I got home because I was intrigued to watch it. I did not watch Kid Rock's, specifically because I have I don't really have any interest in either of the music, but obviously one of them is...
You're not a country guy.
No, I'm not a country guy.
Heavy.
Yeah, so that's not really my thing. But you knew everyone was going to be talking about Bad Bunny, so I wanted to be able to have an idea of...
Give it a grade.
An opinion on that. It's so hard to grade it. I'll say this. I thought the vibes were fun. The music was upbeat, and it certainly was a party. But it's hard when you can't understand what's being said or what any of the themes that they're going for really are.
The theme to me was sex.
Certainly in parts of it. Not the entirety of it, but in parts of it, yes.
The theme to me was that, and if you can't understand the words you just kind of got to go with the imagery. It was very sexual.
I really enjoyed Lady Gaga's part.
I did
thought
too.
that was really, really creative.
She had a little salsa.
It was a unique song, certainly, for that. It's just a really sad song. Weird to hear it in salsa, but I would say it was as good as it could have been without understanding anything. Yes, it could have been a lot worse. I will say that. So. I don't know. Maybe
I'm trying to think of what would Kendrick Lamar in English sound to somebody who didn't understand English. It's kind of like that.
I would argue the production of this one was way better than last year's.
Yeah.
So I do what you want with that. It's really hard to grade it when you don't understand it. Okay, sports and local time. So there's upgrades that are going on at Keener Plaza downtown that are beginning today. Actually, I meant to get to this story last week, but we just spent way too much time on the Puppy Bowl. The Puppy Bowl took way too much time.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that this
which
weekend,
I did
too.
see some tweets about this weekend. So people were pretty upset that they weren't running the ball more. But
did anybody watch the Puppy Bowl in this room?
Yeah, we did. We watched. We had 2 TVs going. The kids love switching back and forth between it.
Are you? I can't tell. Are you making this up?
No, the Puppy Bowl. The kids in the other room. The kids go in there for half of the time, and the other half they watch the Super Bowl. And I looked up the viewership.
Still don't know if he's lying.
I looked up viewership. It says that about 13 million people watched the Puppy Bowl, but it was over the span of 3 hours on Animal Planet, Discovery, TBS, True TV, Max, and Discovery+.
Is this all during the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
So it still didn't quite eclipse the TPUSA halftime show that was 20 minutes long.
Well, anyway, I meant to get to that last week, but because the Puppy Bowl took up so much time, didn't get to it,
and here it is
unfortunately.
taking up time
here
again.
we are again today. It's a repeat.
Fluss versus Ruffs.
The city of St. Louis is working with the Gateway Arch Park Foundation and the Great Rivers Greenway to complete the renovations. While the plaza will remain open to the public throughout this construction process, some specific areas are going to be temporarily closed. New shade structures will be installed near the visitor services area. The project will also include the addition of new shade trees to be located near the outdoor seating sections. The oval lawn will be regraded and will be leveled as well. I guess some of the work includes irrigation, drainage upgrades, which will hopefully they're hoping will improve some of the turf, the soil health. Let's see.
When was the
what
last time
else?
you guys were in Keener Plaza?
I walk by it pretty often when I'm heading to Cardinal games.
Do you walk from here?
Yes, I do, but I guess it's more so when I don't park here when I'm going with other people or something.
We've tried broadcasting there for Cardinals openers in the past.
Yeah, but we always get set right next to a band stage.
And so it's so hard. I like Keener Plaza. I
do
can't
too.
tell you the last time I was actually just there, though.
I covered Tea Party rallies
Okay.
and Occupy Wall Street rallies there
Sweet.
back in the day. Oh my gosh, I got some good tape of people being like, "I think we should tax the rich. Nobody pays taxes." It's like, do you know? And you give them the statistics about like 92% of the taxes paid in this country are by 47% of the people. So there's actually a minority, and they're like,
Well, though, I don't know.
There's also
"Are you sure about yourself?" Well, I was.
Well.
There's also going to be some electrical and lighting improvements with the hope of supporting events and improving safety in that area, which is always a good thing. So the improvements are expected to be finished by October, so this is going to take a little bit of time. But like I said, most of the park, it seems like, is still going to be open throughout. Just while they're working on specific areas, they'll be closing off those areas.
Keep us updated on those drainage issues.
Ooh, I think that for sure was sarcasm.
You think so?
There's really no way to know.
I don't know. More on the Puppy Bowl.
I think we okay.
Yay!
I'm just kidding. Quick basketball update through the area. 17 straight wins for SLU. They beat the brakes off of LaSalle on Saturday night, 82-58. What's the record now, Annie?
23-1.
Best start in school history.
Boom.
Pretty exciting.
At some point, it just becomes the whole season, not just the start.
Yeah, it's true. It is. It is February 9th.
We're getting pretty close.
They're getting pretty close to the conference tournaments, eh? Let's see. They play next this upcoming Friday against Loyola Chicago as they continue to keep their hot start going.
That's good for them. See how long they can run that.
But see, when you phrase it that way, when they lose, it'll then become a great season.
Ah, okay. Okay, but
Yes.
we're
Until that, it's still a start.
Yeah.
I mean, it is mid-February.
If they lose a couple games, then it's no longer the start, you know?
Man, March Madness, is it one of your favorite sports?
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to beat.
The first weekend is
Times of year.
so
Sporting
awesome.
events.
You know what I mean?
I do.
You know what I mean?
That's
One
why
of
I
your
just
favorite
laughed.
sports balls. Yeah. No, it's so much fun. So much basketball, upsets. I mean, it's a great time of year. You?
Yeah.
Yes?
Love it.
Nothing
Love
else
it.
to talk about in college basketball. Keep going.
Mizzou beats South Carolina 78-59, and Illinois.
Such a good game to watch.
Such a good game.
Did not end the way I wanted, but such a good game.
It ended the way I wanted it to.
What a jerk.
Yeah, what the heck?
He's a Spartans
Michigan
fan.
State beats Illinois 85-82, ends the Illini.
In overtime.
Win streak. In overtime. It was a really good game.
And they got a steal that they didn't even anticipate. They could have won.
They were down
Or
by 6 with like 6 seconds left, and they almost
got it back to DOT.
Came back. That would have been a crazy one. So, Illinois falls, but they're still in very good shape. They were number 5 in the country going into that game, and they lost on the road, one of the toughest road environments in the country against the number 10 team. So they're not going to fall
on the
that
road.
much. So
they're number 8.
They dropped to 8. Okay, SLU jumped to 18, so they're slowly climbing as well in their excellent start.
Michigan State now 10. So.
Oh, okay. So they stayed in the same spot. And then, you guys been talking about Kid Rock, and I don't know if you guys had heard this or not, but he just announced a tour, the Freedom 250 tour, and it is coming to St. Louis.
Let's do a little bit more on that when we come back, if you can stick in here, because I want to play a little bit of that song and talk about the Till You Can't song that he did last night. Since you didn't get to see it, we'll drop in and talk a little more Kid Rock when we come back.
All right.
Go vote in the poll. Which halftime show did you watch? Bad Bunny, Kid Rock, both or neither? Go vote. Leave us a text, 314-241-9797. Back in a minute.
My 14th NBA season and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better, let's get it.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings, up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, which halftime show did you watch? Did you watch NFL, Bad Bunny, TPUSA, Kid Rock, and others, both or neither? Here's a comment from our YouTube stream. It says, Bad Bunny, kids wanted to watch him. I thought it was upbeat, but wish some of the music was in English because we do live in America. Surprised Lady Gaga, Cardi B, and Ricky Martin were included. What do you think? We'll give you the results of this poll.
Cardi B was there?
Well, I don't know. That's what the comment said.
I did not know that. This is the first time hearing
They
it.
had several celebrities snuck in, like, the background in the house setting. Pedro
saw
Pascal,
Jessica Alba.
and Cardi B were all snuck in there randomly. Yeah,
that's weird. Some of those are not singers. 2:39. This
They were
time
dancers.
check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Still leading 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
So we're talking about the halftime show and Kid Rock a lot, and Ethan in his Sports and Local was just talking about Kid Rock announcing a tour, and I'm curious, give us the details on that. Is he touring as Robert Ritchie, or is it as a Kid Rock?
I believe that it's as Kid Rock. The Freedom 250 tour, The Road to Nashville, is going to be in St. Louis on Friday, May 15th at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
Let's go.
Parker McCollum is also going
Is there
to
a
be
way we can
with Kid Rock.
tie in a show contingent here and like cover it?
Well, I can tell you something.
What?
The Mark Reardon Show is giving away tickets all week. So
Okay.
be sure to stay tuned in.
So I
We're
have
going to
to
be
ask
giving away
Mark?
tickets later today.
Oh, boy.
You got to call in.
I'm doing it.
And tickets don't go on sale until Friday.
So listen to the
this-
Mark Reardon Show to win tickets.
Mhm.
Perfect. Here is a clip of Robert Ritchie. He did his Kid Rock thing when it started, and right before they start playing the ball with the ball like intro, I paused it and I looked at Jensen. She's 13. I go, "Do you know what he's about to say right now?" And she's like, "No." And then I push play. He's like, "My name is Kid." And my husband did it in sync with him, and she just like slow pan looked at him like, "Who are you?" I've told the story before about how Kid Rock was maybe Jared's favorite artist or whatever in like late high school and college, and then he went back and he was running out by our house, just running outside, And he's like, I'm going to listen to what I listened to get hyped when I was 19. And he came back, he's like, that stuff is filthy. He couldn't go back and listen to it. He's like, it's filthy. But what a character arc story. Here is Robert Ritchie, which is Kid Rock's real name. This is at the end of a song by Cody Johnson, which is a wildly popular song. Great message. It's basically saying, like, these are the things you need to do until you can't do them anymore, then you're SOL. But that's not really what they said. He talks here about an extra verse that he wrote to the song.
You know, I awoke one Sunday morning all alone with this song stuck in my head. And in that moment, something or someone spoke to me. They said there was still a verse that needed to be written for this song, and to get up and write it down. There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't take it. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can until you can. Until you can.
So that is a song. So he added that song. The rest of the song, Ethan, is really more about, like, you know, if you've been waiting to fix up that car, I think it's like maybe with a father type of a situation or whatever. There are all these things in life where you just postpone and you put it off, like, do these things. So he talks about being, I think he said he was in a hotel or something and the song was in his head, write it down, and then he performs it here. But that was an incredible message. And also, Jared looks at me and he goes, he can really sing. He's got soul in his voice. Like, if you're looking for someone who's got like great performance, classical singing vocals, that's always an amazing thing to partake. But when you feel somebody has like soul in their tone, in their voice, Kid Rock certainly can sing. And, you know, if this is his message, I think it's amazing. I do wonder on a concert stage how he can sing some of his older stuff and this versatility can at the same time.
Well, I think there's a lot of artists dealing with that. I mean, Nicki Minaj is dealing with that all the time now, too.
Good. It's a good problem to have, I think, for what you're trying to do now doesn't coincide with the things you were doing, 40 years ago, 30 years ago? Like to suggest that over the course of your 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s that maybe you would see the world a little bit differently?
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting, when you were watching the show live, they interluded between Ball with the Ball and that song with a string duo, and they were playing a hymn.
With the dude that looked like Captain Hook.
And they played a hymn.
A colonial settler founding father.
Whichever one.
And he
was a period piece.
And he was Kid Rock.
Made me trust him more.
He was Kid Rock at the beginning, but what's his real name?
Robert Ritchie.
Robert
like
Ritchie.
Like a transition from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't make that, like, that's my question, though, because there is a suggestion that there was a story arc there to this is what he was and this is what he is now. I'm not sitting here, like, sold on Robert Ritchie is a saved man now, and then he's going to go do a tour, and then Jared was telling me some of the names of the songs. I'm like, this is not good.
All I know is when I just heard that clip that you just played, which I heard live, too, I was like, oh, like you could just tell the room got hit with an arrow.
Yeah, I felt
the heart.
it.
And I felt it again when you just played it.
It's a great message because it's clear, it's simple, and it's straight to the point. I mean, the idea that I'm not going to get into the details of like acceptance theology and saying you need to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior because I believe Jesus has accepted you and you are his. You can deny it, but you are his. And to have him deliver a message in such a concise, 4-line verse, and just be like, Jesus is for you. And people just watch and wait if you haven't already encountered it yet. The people who want to take the measuring stick of Christianity out and start measuring person to person to person to talk about how good of a Christian they are, they've got the wrong measuring stick. It's not your measuring stick. You don't get to touch the measuring stick. Jesus is the measuring stick. He saved you. You're saved. Don't run away from him. To know that you've got an alternative message out there to, again, I'm not putting this on Bad Bunny. If you want to hate Bad Bunny today because you don't like his music or because the music is overly sexual, there is a ton of music out there that is overly sexual. Go look at their music videos. These are the things that they're doing. This is what they're doing to make money, to become societally, secularly relevant. This is the industry. Why does the NFL really want this to be their only message? Because if they do, they get to make that choice. This is a free market situation where we also get to make a choice, and people did, to the tune of now 20 million people just on the TPUSA YouTube channel. The NFL is going to have to react if they care about the bottom line, not about culture. Like that's the point you were making before, Ryan. They don't care about you to the extent that they're actually willing to offend you because they think you're so locked in to being at the Super Bowl in your living room, maybe actually present there. They've got you so locked in that they can actually kind of offend your senses outside of the football game. You'll still come back.
Mm-hmm. And here's the deal. It's not even true. Their assumptions are not true. Because I used to be a fringe NFL fan. I kind of pay attention. I was part of the culture. I don't care anymore. And a lot of that is the cultural part of it, because I just don't think they care about me, so I don't care about them.
You watched the game. You were there. Like, it was a part of your evening, but probably much more because of the social aspect than you cared about what was going on the football field.
Exactly.
I like Robert Ritchie.
That was great. That's a moment right there.
Lee Bryce's song, too, that is now... you can access, if you go to Lee Bryce's X page, there's a link in his bio, or probably everywhere in his bio, that shows where you can pre-save is the term that was used. The It's Not Easy Being Country song he did. Oh, man, that brought me to tears as well. We'll get the results when we come back. Which halftime show did you watch? Let us know before we reveal them in just about 7 minutes. Don't go away. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Matt Hayes. 314-271-9900 is the number to call to rely on an expert to take a look at those foundation concerns that you have. Those are big concerns. I mean, we talk, like, metaphorically speaking about, like, the foundation of your life or the foundation of this, that, and the other thing. If the foundation isn't solid, you've got big problems. And you want to make sure that the foundation, if there are cracks in it, if there are concerns, or if there's a compromise, that you get to solving that with the right people the first time. I think a lot of people, when they first see it, they kind of go, oh, gosh, you just kind of have a dollar figure in your head that's really scary. So you avoid the problem for a little bit and try to put it out of your mind, but it doesn't. It's not out of your mind. You got water in your basement, that problem, the second that rain is in the forecast, it's the first thing you think about. Take care of it. At least invite Matt Hayes out to give you a free quote on what he can do to solve that problem for you once and for all. 314-271-9900, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
exactly what others often miss. How to avoid hidden tax traps in your 401k or IRA, and how to make smarter decisions about Social Security. Now, this is a one-night, 2.5-hour, no-cost educational event. Seats fill up fast. And at FTA, they like to say that financial peace of mind in retirement is all about income. Lose the job and keep the paycheck. That's exactly what FTA will help you do. So if you're within 10 years of retirement or already retired, you can't afford to miss it. Call 314-888-5101 or go to fta-ria.com and reserve your seat now.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I got a note this morning from the folks at the Lutheran Elementary School Association. This is very exciting. The Annie Fry Show scholarship has received an anonymous $1,000 donation, which is incredible. Wow. The bell is still ringing. If you've thought about it and you didn't get around to donating to that scholarship when we were doing the drive during School Choice Week, Lutheran School Week, you can still do it if you go to lesastl.org/Annie. This year's total that we raised for the scholarship was $7,575, and the total Annie Fry Show scholarship fund is up to $35,700.
That's awesome.
Another one. That's pretty fantastic. The YouTube live chat poll, which halftime show did you watch? Brad, any final thoughts on what I've talked certainly a lot about this. Which one did you watch, and what's your thoughts?
I watched the TPUSA one.
You didn't even watch the Bad Bunny one?
No, I haven't yet. Still haven't gone back and watched it. I don't know. I'm just not interested in Bad Bunny.
You were with kids, though, so you didn't have complete control over it.
No, and I didn't have the opportunity to go back and watch it, and frankly, I don't care about Bad Bunny, and it's no slight to him. It's just not my thing. So,
I did it for research purposes, but also because I'm totally open to him doing a great show and watching it and going, guys, it really wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. I actually think it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Look, if you sink that amount of resources into anything, you could make William Hung good. I mean,
Banks. Speaking of Ricky Martin.
My goodness.
That's a lot of production and a lot of dancers and a lot of choreography and a lot of pyro and whatever else. And so you're going to get a good show at the halftime show because there's a lot invested.
Yeah, if there would have been no lead up to it, no social, cultural hubbub over it, I would have watched it and been like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this really exciting football game. Mm-hmm. Ethan?
It was about as good as it could have been for not understanding a single word. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at.
Which has to affect your overall grade.
Right.
I mean, you're saying,
right.
I wanted to have a good time
like,
and just didn't because you can understand it.
It could have been a 0. It was not a 0. But I feel like there's only so high that it can go if you don't understand anything that's happening.
What language should next year's Super Bowl be in?
Mandarin.
German.
Now we're talking.
Rammstein.
It almost kind of is, isn't it? We're getting there.
We're close.
You want to give us the results, Ethan?
I gladly will. 371 votes.
Thanks,
on today's
y'all.
YouTube live chat poll. Which halftime show did you watch? I can tell you only 5% of people watched both shows.
I'm one of those.
Only 12% watched Bad Bunny's halftime show.
372 votes in a poll for us is pretty gigantic.
Yeah, it is. That is a really low number. 27% watched neither, and 56% watched Turning Point USA's Kid Rock and Friends halftime show.
That's pretty crazy.
I'm pretty surprised by the results of that.
Yeah, I would encourage you to go back and if you're going to comment on both, make sure you've seen both, unless your comment is, I don't give a crap about this stuff, which is kind of what Brad was saying. Thank you for showing up today. We'll be back tomorrow, but Mark Reardon coming up next on 97.1 FM Talk.
Sponsored by Wesley Financial. Your digital footprint will live on long after you depart this mortal coil. Tech expert Paul Hockman says the plan for your afterlife online should start with an inventory.
What do you have out there? Crypto, passwords to your financial, to your savings and so forth.
A digital executor can take all of your passwords and then shut down your social media accounts, which can be an attractive target to hackers.
So the longer you leave it up, the more you leave yourself open.
I'm Rob Hart.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney.
This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal